Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here to Brandenburg Field in Madison Township for high school playoff football, the OHSAA Saturday night edition in Division 5. Tonight, the Madison Mohawks, 10th seeded, are going to host the 23rd seed Finneytown Wildcats. Joel Sackenheim here, along with my partner in crime, my cousin Chris Vogt. Chris, what do you know, man?
Whole next to nothing, Joel. But it's good to be in the booth again with you tonight. Saturday Night Lights. It's a beautiful night here in Madison Township. Some crazy things happening this weekend. If something crazy happens tonight, that's okay.
It happens, right?
Right. Everybody's in the playoffs, so you can expect anything at this point.
There's a lot of schools out there that are this is not going to apply to Madison necessarily. There's a lot of schools out there that are in the playoffs for the first time in school history or for the first time in forever. A lot of teams getting their first playoff wins in school history. Yeah. I saw that last night with Kettering Fairmont, of all teams, going all the way up to Perrysburg and knocking off the undefeated Yellow Jackets. It's really cool to see so many schools and local communities, as best as they can, social distance, sometimes doing it remotely from their home, from their TV screens or whatever else, trying to follow their high schools, making a playoff run.
Yeah, and you saw it last night with Monroe. It's a Southwestern Buckeye League program that that Madison played, and Madison found out, kind of the segue there, Madison found out about the new and improved Monroe program as we've seen the season advance. I don't know what we're going to see with Finneytown, and I quite frankly, we don't know what we're going to see with Madison. Madison's looking like two different teams from the beginning of the season until now. So, a lot of interesting stuff we've got going on here in the postseason, and I'm pretty sure we're probably going to see some of that tonight.
Now, you saw Madison last week, as you mentioned, against Monroe. I think it's probably safe to say that was probably Madison's worst game of the year, I would think.
Yeah. Talking to Jesse, there's a thing called, momentum.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Jesse called it out and said, "Hey, we just didn't carry the momentum." I mean, Madison had won 3 in a row, and they went up against a good Monroe program that is kind of turning the corner.
They're starting to bud and blossom a little bit.
Right, and when you've got the third year of it's second year third year head coach of Bob Mullins. It's a big difference once you're actually getting 3 full seasons of coaching sophomores and
starting to train and work with all of your players and get them groomed into your system the way you want it to be, etc. Finneytown, they're 0-6.
Yeah.
All right, I know we're kind of standing by here for a national anthem going to be coming up here in a second. But they play in the Cincinnati Hills League, which is not easy necessarily.
Right. Well, and you got Indian Hill, you've got Wyoming, just naming a couple of them here shortly. But we're going to go ahead and pause for the national anthem here shortly. We've got 3 minutes till kickoff, Joel, and we're pretty excited. Well, we're going to
they're not going to do the anthem yet.
Right, they're not going to do it yet.
Kids aren't even on the field yet. So
I know.
Yes.
Well, just to kind of piggyback off that, Joel, with Finneytown and Gerald Warmack, he's doing another double duty. He's also the athletic director, and he's also the head football coach.
Similar to Purcell Marion.
Right, exactly. 0-6. I don't think that you want to judge that record, specifically in terms of what they could probably do on the field tonight, just for the mere fact that, you're going against top-notch programs in the CHL.
All right, we got the national anthem here coming right on up. That gal's got some pipes, Chris.
Joel, you heard a band last night, Elida's band last night.
Elida's band was awesome.
Played the entire national anthem themselves, and we heard a fantastic rendition of it tonight.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, so Finneytown, to kind of wrap a bow on them here as the teams are getting ready to take the field. They're 0-6. The last two losses are nothing to be ashamed of. Undefeated Wyoming and undefeated Indian Hill. Nobody in the Cincinnati Hills League has really been able to beat either one of those teams for a very, very long time. I would be more concerned about scores like the Week 2 loss to Reading. Reading Blue Devils are 1-5. They're in this bracket, actually. And 56-13 was that final score. Finneytown has given up 45 points in every game they played so far this year.
Right. Well, and I'm looking at the stats, Joel, and unfortunately on the offensive end, they just haven't been able to get anything clicking in terms of putting some yards on the field and putting some points on the board. We're going to be thinking. We're probably going to be looking at Drew Finch. He'll be doing. He'll be doing a lot of the passing tonight. Quite frankly, you might be looking at William Martin and Ryan Siakam. Siakam. That's him. Yes.
Yes.
We're going to get that by the end of the day. But
yeah, Ryan Siakam, and he's got a brother on this team, Marvin Siakam. And those two are actually cousins with Pascal Siakam of the Toronto Raptors.
Oh, no kidding.
So there's that.
And that's a nice little
NBA
tidbit of info
there.
right there.
Exactly. So here we go. The Hells Bells is being played through the system. Little AC/DC getting everybody ready to rock and roll here at Brandon.
Can't go wrong with AC/DC, Joel.
It's good football music.
Looks like Madison sporting their red tops, black pants. The home attire.
The home attire for the Madison Mohawks.
Yeah, nice to have a home game for the
Zach
hometown
Potter's going to put the ball down on the tee for the Madison Mohawks. Standing deep. Actually, not very deep at all. Back to return is Carlos Cox. He's got a buddy over there. I can't quite make out his number, but they're only standing at the 20-yard line.
Now I see
they're starting to
they're
slightly
back,
walk
Joel.
back a little bit. But they don't respect this leg at all, Potter.
Potter's a big boy.
Potter's going to kick it and make them retreat quite far back. The return man, Carlos Cox, is out past the 20-yard line. Past the 30, tucking it up, and is ankle tackled there by Chase Patrick of the Mohawks. And so the Finneytown Wildcats will begin their first offensive possession tonight. It looks like at their own 35-yard line.
Yeah, in terms of what Madison does on defense, Madison's defense has been stellar. And unfortunately for the Mohawks last week, there were a couple holes in the line, in the defensive line, and Monroe was able to take advantage of that. But Madison's defense, they tout some good, strong athleticism on that end.
Looks like we got a shotgun formation as the ball is handed to the up back who has absolutely nowhere to go. I assume that's Ryan Dace, the running back there for Finneytown. And he's going to lose a yard right up the middle. 2nd down and 11 for the Wildcats.
Yeah, Madison ready for that play.
Crash hard.
Yeah, they're jacked up in the front three there.
All right, so 2nd and 11 for the Finneytown Wildcats. Dressed in their road whites with their Carolina blue helmets. Here comes the first passing attempt. And it is a complete pass from Finch, hitting Cox.
Yeah,
Carlos Cox, the return man, gets about a yard.
Yeah, that was just a good job by Madison to kind of sniff that out. Everybody played their position, and that's exactly what you want to see if you're Madison at this point.
Just noticed something very old school about this field that I've not seen all year long, Chris, and that is that the individual yard markers are nowhere to be found, only the 5-yard stripes.
There it is, yeah.
This is probably why you originally had the chains in the first place for measurement when you didn't have clear yard markers.
Right. Well, you know, it may be a little tricky for us up here, too.
Well, we may see more measurements tonight.
True.
Than in any other game we've called all year long. There's a whistle. And it's a pre-snap penalty, which means it's probably going to be on the offense, a false start of some sort. And it is indeed a false start. It did not get the name of our referee in the white hat. I did chat with him before the game. He's probably going to come back and actually watch this broadcast on replay to kind of do a little self-evaluation. He wanted to see how his crew was going to do tonight in this playoff game.
You know, I guess we're not the only ones that self-evaluate our broadcasts.
No, we're not. No, we're not at all.
My wife called me out and said, "Why are you watching this again?" Well, we want to get better.
That's right. Long throw, double coverage. Intended receiver on the play was Jaden Bohannon, and that ball falls harmlessly to the turf, and that is the end of the first drive of the Finneytown Wildcats.
Yeah, Madison's starting off the way they want to, kind of, and I'm going to credit to just the defense staying in their lanes and not making anything hard on themselves.
We're going to have Connor Maloney and Logan Gibson both back as two return men deep for the Mohawks.
Logan Gibson, he's an explosive runner. He ran a punt return back. Actually, it was a kickoff return for Madison's lone score last week against the Monroe Hornets.
Trying to get a look at this number for our punter. He's a big dude. And he wallops that ball into the air. That's Kristen Shipley, 290-pound punter.
A lot of leg.
Plays line. Actually, looks like it's 64, maybe? Yeah, 64. So I want to give credit there. That's actually Arnez Heron, 260 pounds.
Yeah, Joe, I want to first step in and say that we want to thank Madison Athletic Director Matt Morrison for hooking us of prime seating right here at the 50-yard line. You can't get better than that.
As good as it gets here. So the Madison Mohawks will take the field with their offense. First down at, we're going to estimate, the 36-yard line. Toss sweep. That goes to number 20, Logan Gibson. He's got some running room, and he's across midfield for a first down, Madison.
Yeah, personal reasons, Dante Pendleton is not in the lineup tonight. So you're going to see a lot of Logan Gibson. A lot of Logan Gibson. In fact, you'll probably see him maybe 75% of the time from the backfield.
All right. So the Mohawks will have a first down and 10 right there at the midfield stripe. Very early on in this Region 20 playoff game for the Mohawks. Handoff goes up the middle to the fullback. And Devin Ology's got a lot of running room. He's got a blocker down there. He cuts it up. He's going to be able to get all the way to the end zone.
And
he does.
He got it.
Ah!
Wow.
Touchdown, Mohawks, 50 yards.
Joey, that was just a matter of the Mohawks providing a lane for him to just run free, and he actually just finished it off himself.
Wow. All right. Well, just go right up the center and put your first 6 points up on the board, and first of many for the Mohawks tonight as they hope.
Right.
Obviously, looking at the final scores that Finneytown has been able to yield earlier this year, could very well be the first of many. The place kicker for the Mohawks is Jared Curry. Ball gets placed down. Curry kicks it up. Floats around and just wide to the right. So we're going to have to hold this thing at 6-0 Mohawks. We taking a commercial break, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
All right, let's get the score up here first. And we'll be right back on the Butler County High School Sports Report Television Network.
We thank you for listening to a live broadcast on the Butler County High School Sports Report's YouTube channel. We encourage you to check out our website at www.bchssreport.com for all your local prep sports results, stories, and student-athlete features. Enjoy the rest of the game.
We have returned here to Brandenburg Field. Chris, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you know who Brandenburg Field is named after? And I say this legitimately asking a question because I don't know the answer to this.
No, but I did know it was Brandenburg Field.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I do not know the history of.
Did not know. Picking your brain if it be in the.
It's okay. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. I'm shamefully. Shame I don't know that.
We're learning as we go. Carlos Cox. Good return, but there are a couple flags thrown from behind the play.
That's only one thing and one thing only, I imagine.
I very well imagine it may actually be two separate, well, now the back referee, the one in the white hat, actually throws the flag up to the same yard marker as his assistant, and they're going to get together and talk about it. They probably had the exact same infraction from 2 different angles.
Yep.
So the foul happened at the 41-yard line. It's going to be counted backwards from there. Oh,
Yeah,
2
you
penalties on
called
the
it,
play.
Joel, 2 penalties. Oh,
2
geez.
different holds. And so they're going to take it marked off from whichever one is the farther one back up the field.
You know what? 2 holdings should stay as 2 holdings. That's 30 yards, Joel. You can't get away with 2 holdings.
Yeah, I held them twice.
Right.
That's right.
And it was a good run as a result.
First down and 10 for the Finneytown Wildcats. And Drew Finch once again in the pistol formation now and hands it to his running back, Dace. Dace dances around the defensive line there and picks up a yard or 2.
Madison just doing the same thing.
And I'm going to correct the name on that one. That was Martin William, actually the second running back going through there behind Dace. So 2nd down and 8 for the Finneytown Wildcats. Still early in the first quarter here. 2nd drive of the game for Finneytown. Lots of wide receivers here. Very few snaps under center for the Wildcats. Here's the snap. Rusher coming. Ball underthrown and beautifully into the hands of Jaden Bohannon.
Yeah, Joel. I mean, almost it was kind of to the benefit of Jaden to have that underthrown, because I think if that was actually thrown any further, it might have been picked off.
The dreaded underthrown deep ball.
Yep.
Jake DeLowell made that famous in Carolina, that's for sure. Justin Schaefer, the defensive end that was in the backfield there that forced that ball to be thrown up quicker than the quarterback Finch would have liked to, but it works out all the better for the Finneytown Wildcats, who are now across midfield at the 44-yard line.
First down of the game. Finneytown looking to grab a little bit of momentum after a stalled drive last drive.
They definitely need to keep the ball throwing, I would imagine. Long throw. And the ball is tipped and incomplete. Finch reared, and he's not afraid to throw it down the sideline. Chase Patrick there on the coverage for the Mohawks.
Well, I'd imagine you're going to see a little bit of a shift of game plan at the moment for Finneytown. 5 runs, you've seen a matter of 2 yards on all those 5 runs against the Madison defense.
All right, so we have a 2nd down and 10 for Finneytown. Feel like I need to tell the time on the clock, but we got the camera. It's so nice.
Yeah.
Got 8 minutes even here in the first quarter.
I'm going to have to adjust it for you guys.
Make that thing as perfect as we can, right? All right, here we go. 2nd down and 10, Wildcats.
Got the cowbells today.
Man goes in motion. Finch overthrows his slant. That's once again Cox, the intended receiver. And Finch got absolutely blown up at the end of that throw by Tyler McCracken.
Yeah, Finch is kind of hobbling off there, you can tell.
Release McCracken.
He brought it.
He really did.
Crack.
We might have a timeout being taken by Finneytown as they want to give Finch a little time actually to adjust themselves.
Joel, you want to go into some
bracketology?
Yeah,
Where you want to go?
Yeah, let's go Division I last night.
All right, Division I. Well, you pulled up Middletown's bracket here.
Pardon me.
I mean, that's fine. You want to talk about Middletown, we can. But, yeah, this is Division I, Region 4. This is our southwestern Ohio region. You can see Lakota West and Lakota East are going to end up playing each other. I can't imagine Tom Bolden loves that.
Right.
I mean, rivalry games are always strange no matter how good one team is compared to the other. You just never quite know with that.
Well, jumping into that one, both programs are playing well. Lakota East is playing on all cylinders. I'd imagine this is going to be a fantastic game. You throw all the numbers out the window.
There you go. Mason Coleraine should be really interesting next weekend. Coleraine has been down, but is kind of getting themselves back on track a little bit. And Mason, of course, plays great defense. So that game may be the first one to 13 points wins. Princeton and Elder. Man, Elder got their foot out of the trap against Fairfield last night.
Yeah, they really did.
Got to give Coach Krause credit. I did not think Fairfield had that in them, and they did.
Yeah, and you know what? We had a reporter, Chris Gunnan, was there for the report to cover the old game, and he said it was a fantastic it was a fantastic game to report on.
That's the jet sweep there to William Martin. And William Martin's not going to have much room there, and it's going to be a 4th down for the Wildcats, who will probably punt here. We'll see what they choose to do.
Yeah, I'd imagine that they probably would punt.
Joel Sackenheim, Chris Vogt, pleased to have you here with us from Brandenburg Field up in Madison Township. First time here, Chris.
So,
I've never been here before.
On the other side of the Great Miami River, if you notice that.
Okay. I did not realize this was so close to Trenton and to Edgewood on the way out here. Fourth down, the Wildcats are going to keep their offense on the field and go for it. And they're going to throw it very, very deep, and this ball is foolishly intercepted by Connor Maloney, who cost his team about 40 yards of field position.
Well, Joe, you know, I guess at this point you're excited. You're a high school ball player. Not that he's thinking about stats at that point, but I think he's just wanting to make a play. I know you're looking at the logistics part of it, Joel, and I get that.
Yeah.
But
here's
it's
the
hard
thing.
not to intercept that.
Here's the thing, all right? And again, nice catch by Maloney. That's wonderful. It does give you an interception, everything else like that. It's fourth down. If you're a baseball player and there's a runner on first base and you're playing shortstop, you know if there's 2 outs, you go to first.
Yeah.
If there's 1 out, you go to second. And you know this before the ball is ever pitched and before the ball ever hits the bat. You got to be mentally prepared before the ball is even snapped. Hey, it's fourth down.
I agree with you.
I don't want to intercept this ball.
I agree with you.
Power T formation for Madison, way deep in their own territory. It may just end up resulting in more rushing yards for their offense is all. It may be the only difference at this point in time. First down run, right across the 20, 12 yards, easy peasy.
Yeah, Logan Gibson, a quiet first down. I mean, that just barreling through, shaking off a couple tacklers of some Wildcats, and he's got himself a quiet 11-yard gain.
All right, 1st and 10. The Sticks over there have it listed as second down. Now they're changing it back over to first. And once again, the ball brought up to the 20-yard line. Toss sweep.
Face mask.
Shoot move.
Maybe gotten away with a face mask, the old Wildcats did. I saw Logan Gibson's head kind of jerk there as he was going past the defender.
Yeah. Gibson, that was got about 9 yards. Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, Logan Gibson, he's going to turn it up. If you've got some room for him to run, you could see some healthy runs.
2nd down and 1 for the Mohawks. No wide receivers on the field. This is a very tight Terry Malone power T. Handoff to Gibson. Going to cut back across the 40.
Oh.
Little stiff arm. Runs out of bounds.
Was that a stiff arm or was that a it looked like more than a stiff arm.
It was pretty sweet, wasn't it? 45-yard line.
First down. And I guess, after that loss, I think Madison's taking it from the standpoint. Let's get out of this contest as quick as we can. Let's put it out as quick as we can and move on.
Well, certainly they're going to be in shape to try to put a lot of points up as quickly as they can and try to get to that running clock in the second half. Avoid any injuries. Handoff to the fullback. Up the middle for another 10 yards. Plus, that's Devonology.
Devonology is also a wrestler, and you could tell on that run.
Honestly, I think Madison's shortest run of the game is the 9-yard run to start this thing.
Yep.
You know,
I think you're correct.
I mean, they've just been just walloping yards. Big, big chunks. All right, 1st down and 10 at about the 42, 43-yard line. One wide man to the bottom of the screen. Toss sweep, Gibson. Got a convoy. Got a flag behind the play.
Gibson not wanting to go down.
He's going to go down to the 15-yard line, but don't get too excited. White hat behind the play, threw a flag.
Yeah, it's going to come back, Joel. The inevitable.
Ref and umpire kind of talking to each other a little bit there.
I think one of them gave him the nod.
Chop block.
Joel.
There it is.
I'm 0 for 1 on my referee calls.
It's all right. I saw you had a really interesting bear hug call here last weekend. I watched the tape. I don't know what a bear hug signal is either.
I don't know, but Joey and I were talking. I said, if somebody's giving me a bear hug, that's not a penalty.
That's right. That's right. Might be a COVID regulation.
True.
That might be the issue there. All right. So Madison's going to lose a ton of yards on that exchange. It's now going to be first and about 25 for the Mohawks.
Well, the way Mohawks are turning up their yards, I don't know if this would be an issue for them.
Keep running anyway. Hand off to Ology up the middle.
He can get himself about 5 yards.
Can't quite tackle him, and finally the whistle blows. Picks up close to 5. Yep. It's going to be about 2nd and 20 now for the Mohawks. No need to panic.
Right. Well, and I was going to say that too. If you're the Madison Mohawks at this point, you got 2nd and, like you said, 20. Don't change what you're doing. Don't change it. You know, and I know Brady Haas has thrown the ball a couple times. I know he threw the ball a couple times last week against Monroe, and there was a couple interceptions. I don't know if you want to try and get that kind of game going. You want to find where you're comfortable.
I'll be honest with you, Chris. If I'm Madison, I don't think I call a passing play this entire game.
At all.
At all. Toss to Gibson. Gets hit.
He got lifted.
That was a nice hit. A little off balance there. Number 50, Michael Godby makes that tackle.
He didn't. Gibson didn't go anywhere once he met Michael.
He did not. All right, a 3rd down and 12 for the Mohawks. Realistically, you got 2 plays to get this if you get a nice chunky yardage on this first play.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not going to be. This is 4 down territory, Joe. I don't see a punt at all for Madison.
Gibson rotates around to the other side of the quarterback. And it is a
There's
play-action fake. Here's Haas. And it's complete to Evan Cox.
Great route by Cox. Had separation there, and, you know, making it easy for Brady Haas there on the rollout. That's a good play call right there.
And you get a 1st and 25, and you get it converted. That ain't bad.
Yep.
So we're down to 3 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Madison with the ball on the move. Knocking on the door of the red zone, looking to try to score their 2nd score in as many possessions. 2 running backs behind the quarterback here in this formation. Ology.
Devin rumbling, bumbling, Joel.
Up the middle. 10 yards.
Moving the chains.
Easy 1st down. Just keep them right on moving as the Mohawks roll into the red zone.
Yeah, something that I got to mention here is that Monroe's defensive line basically controlled the trenches when Madison had the ball. Madison wasn't able to do much of anything in terms of an offensive run scheme. It's complete opposite today.
Line play has been huge in this game for the Mohawks on both sides of the field, offense and defense. There's a toss to Gibson. Gibson runs it for about 7 yards. And it looks like tackle and escorted back up there by Godby of the Finneytown Wildcats.
You know, just a lot of pitches outside. I mean, the space is there outside the tackles.
2nd down and 3. We'll see what Madison does here. Keep it simple, I would have to imagine. No reason to complicate the easy.
Not at all.
Yeah, I can hear those cowbells.
Got to make some noise here at a 15% capacity.
Ology breaks it up the middle and almost into the end zone. He's tackled at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, he didn't quite make it.
Yeah, that sets up whatever's going to happen next.
You're right, Joel. I don't think you could have been any more correct on that assumption.
They might hand it right back to him again, right?
No.
Give him those points. Just give him a play later.
Don't change a thing.
That really was like a Madden-like comment, wasn't it?
I got to come in and say, yeah, you're right, John. Be old Pat Summerall there.
That's right. I think I said absolutely nothing with that last phrase. Yeah. Words are gold. Here's the snap, and it's to Gibson. Notology. And Gibson into the end zone for a touchdown, Mohawks.
Yeah, just the players are there. I'd imagine that Haas probably will just see that one single pass there. You don't change anything.
This has appeared to be like a video game on easy mode tonight for the Mohawks.
Well, we're going to see what they can do in terms of taking that momentum from this first quarter, carry it over. That's one of those things. It's almost like if you're put in a position, you want to make sure your kids are continually going to do the fundamental things correctly if the game does get out of hand, because that's just as important as it is a close game.
This basically becomes a scrimmage at that point in time. That's right. 13-0 Madison Mohawks over Finneytown. So if we look at the bracket here for Division 5, tonight's winner is going to be playing the Springfield Shawnee Braves.
Yeah,
and
I wouldn't tell you a thing about them.
Yeah, Springfield
Have no
Shawnee. Let
clue.
me see if I can pull them up here and give you a little bit of an insight as to what they're looking at here. Springfield Shawnee has a record of 3-2. They had a game canceled last weekend against Kenton Ridge.
So they're 2 weeks off. No, they will have 2 weeks off, won't they?
Yeah, they'll have had 2 weeks off to get ready for this game, but not knowing who the opponent was going to be. Springfield Shawnee started out with 3 straight wins and then hit 2 hard losses. And in their conference, I forget the name of their conference, the 2 big dogs there are the London Red Raiders and the Pioneers of Jonathan Alder. And they had to play those 2 games. Those are the last 2 games they played. Those are the 2 they lost. London beat them 34-7, and JA beat them by a much closer score. So here comes the kickoff return for Cox. Stays on his feet, continues to stay on his feet across the 35-yard line. That's a really good, really high-energy kickoff return. Very determined there, Chris.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? For Finneytown, this is good. And for Finneytown, this is good. Best field position that they're going to see to start a drive.
Well, we'll see what they can do with it. So far, offense has not been able to put up much, although they are not shy about throwing the ball deep.
Right. Well, they saw that their running game wasn't doing squat.
Squat. We're thinking of the proper noun there that can be said over the air, right?
Yeah. I kept it PG.
We're both Lindenwold boys. I get it. I know.
It was hard.
There are times.
It was hard to refrain.
There are times. I got to think of, what family-friendly word I can use to describe.
Now, I wonder how many people in Madison Township know of Lindenwold.
I don't know.
Oh, all right. Yes.
This is really interesting if you take a look. The chains are off by about 1.5 yards from where the ball is actually being spotted right now, and I wonder if the referees are going to catch this.
Well, it looks like they're going to have to go 11 yards for a first down, Joel.
Wow.
They ran to the line of scrimmage.
They do. Philip Allwell with the carry. He gains about 4 yards to set up 2nd and 8. And yes, that's legitimate. He gains about 4 yards to set up 2nd and 8.
Yeah.
The ball was about at the 38-yard line. The referee's just picking up the beanbag there, as you see, but yet the sticks were set up at the 40.
Right.
And so
at this point, you can't really. You're gonna have to run.
Referee crew wants to watch the film of this game and see what they didn't do right. There's your first one. Sticks should have set up at the 38-yard line because that's where the beanbag was. There's a carry again for Allwell. He's tackled back toward the sticks, and it's going to set up a 3rd down and 10.
But we won't see that until the second quarter, Joseph.
All right, so the end of the first quarter from Madison Township. The Mohawks have a 13-0 lead on the Butler County High School Sports Report Television Network.
Hey, this is Joey Vogt for The Report. One thing we strive to do here at The Report is recognize the local high school student athletes and their accomplishments to the best of our abilities, which is the reason why we partnered up with Performance Toyota and Rick's Tavern to crown a Performer of the Week. We choose a student athlete from each of our coverage area schools from any sports and let family, friends, and your school vote in the report's Performer of the Week poll on our website. Tell us who you think should be in our Performer of the Week poll, and most importantly, enjoy the rest of the broadcast.
Never pay more when you shop Route 4. Performance Toyota.
Performance Toyota Superstore invites you to save. Money, that is. Overstocked pre-owned vehicles have forced us to wholesale direct to you. Our loss is your gain. Everything is on sale. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs. Every deal will be made. Keep your stimulus check and just show up and drive. If you want it, we've got it. Every style, every color, every model. It's used cars for everyone. Only at your Performance Toyota Superstore. Go to performancetoyotastore.com.
Back at Brandenburg Field, ready for the start of quarter number 2. Chris, you're quick on the draw. Already got it out there on the scoreboard. How about it?
Well, you know what? When I actually think about doing it, I got to do it right then and there because I think I go through a whole entire quarter with it still.
I've done it.
You know, the quarter before.
I've done it. I know what that's like. Yep. 3rd and 10 from the 40-yard line. And the pass is thrown behind and into the arms of Connor Maloney, and that's an interception that you do want.
Yeah, I agree. And then there's some extracurricular stuff going on, and a flag that might actually push Madison in better field position than
Maloney just held up number 2 on his hands there.
Which means that's interception number 2.
Interception number 2, and the first one your coach is happy with.
Right.
Yes, that's good. I like it. That was a 3rd down play, and so he saved his team 40 yards of field position with that one. A dead ball, personal foul being called on Finneytown. That's going to mark 15 more yards off from the end of Maloney's return. And so the Mohawks are already well in business, Chris.
Yeah, one of those things Finneytown can't really afford to have anything of that nature go against them.
They have, I believe the best way to describe it is they have a very small margin of error.
Right.
And when you have a small margin of error, you can't have things go wrong and just snowball in the avalanche on top of you. Not pretty. 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line for the Madison Mohawks, who come on up toward the line. Brady Haas has only thrown the ball once.
He's 100%.
He's 100%. That's right. He's going to look to throw here. He's got him wide open. Oh, what a comeback play by Cox. Carlos Cox looked into the backfield and bit and had to recover really, really quickly toward Jesse Allman to go ahead and break up that pass. He did.
Yeah, Allman, he's bummed about that play. He slammed the ground pretty hard with his fist. He thought he had that one. That was a good defensive play, however.
It really was. It really was. And he had been beaten. I mean, Carlos Cox had been beaten and had to make the recovery and did it quite well.
And I'm going to say it here at the high school level, pro level, college level. I don't care. The cornerback is the hardest position to play.
Oh yeah.
In football.
Oh yeah.
Well, I would imagine quarterback probably is, but cornerback.
Corner, yeah. Gibson on the toss.
To kind of expand on that, Joel, is just because of the mere fact that you got to play position. And it's almost like the world's against you because you can't pass interference because that
all the rules, yeah,
right, all the rules against you. Although at the high school level, I think referees more along the lines of they like to let them play. Let them play.
And we have a timeout taken by the Finneytown Wildcats.
Stay right here,
Stay
Joel.
right here?
Yeah, let's talk some more playoff action from last night. You know, I was able to catch Edgewood. And if you want to go ahead and hit up,
you can go ahead and go to Edgewood's bracket there.
Yeah, Columbus West, the 25th seed. I think going in, I knew what was going to happen. Columbus West opening kickoff returns 96 yards.
We saw that on Twitter.
Yeah,
it was interesting.
Yeah, and I was like, whoa. A couple people on the Edgewood sidelines were like, oh, not the way you want to start the game.
It is another team we do have to play.
Right, exactly. But as you can see, the end result, Edgewood said, no, this ain't happening. This ain't happening. 62-12.
Edgewood Cougars are not going to have the easiest matchup next week, though. They are back home at Kumler Field, and they got the Troy Trojans. And Troy is always tough north of the Dayton area.
Yeah, well, you know more about the old programs outside of the Butler County area.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know.
Troy Trojans 5-2.
Yeah. I think Edgewood will have something on their hands there at the old Kumler. Talking about Talawanda, they kicked it in gear last night against Belmont. Impressive win as well.
Both the Shrevely, I'm told, had a lot. Okay. We're back live. Just talking playoff action, right? Handoff to Gibson. And Gibson is going to be right there at the first down marker. We'll see if he has enough or not. This may be a first measurement of the night.
We love measurements. That way I can zoom in on the ball, and you guys get right in your living room.
Well, everybody else has all of those individual yard hash marks, and they've all been spotting it right on the hash marks. So nobody's required a measurement all year long.
Madison Mohawks, they're trying to save some paint. Trying to save some milk.
There you go. And here indeed come the sticks.
This could be a fourth down situation, Joel.
March them all the way across the field here.
Now, what we don't want is a referee to get in
the way
of the camera. Absolutely. Here we go, Joseph. He stepped it.
Oh. They are short by like 3 chain lengths.
Yeah. That's what they're going to call it. Well,
take a look at the middle referee. Can you zoom in on him real quickly? The middle one. That's not the middle one. That's all right.
Oh, well.
The one by the 30-yard line. That guy. They actually have, this is a really old school chain. They actually have a little, you see the orange piece that is clipped to it.
Yep.
That clip marks the spot on the 30-yard line. And then they put the clip on the 30 and then stretch the rest of the chain out from there.
Well, Joel, we're playing on grass. You got to go old school.
You have to be able to make that work. And that clip will have to go back to the 30-yard line again as the chains aren't quite set completely right, but as long as the clip stays on the 30, they'll be good.
I only think you have one play in your playbook at this point, and that's just send Haas up the middle.
Quarterback sneak?
Yeah, absolutely. The old Tom Brady quarterback sneak.
That's Dan Boat's favorite play. I can tell you that right now. He loves the QB sneak. Had so much fun spending every Friday night with my cousin Dan.
Yeah, you guys are a good combo.
It's been a real
I enjoy
fun
listening to you guys.
It's been good. All right. Finally, whistle blows, clock begins. And a fumble, and Haas is going to try to break it forward, and I think he may have enough for the first down anyway.
Wow. Well, props to Haas to be aware that he's got to pick up that ball and still get a first down. Because usually at that point, you're just worried about hopping on it.
Right. He didn't know he was running a QB sneak.
There it is.
But he was.
Yep.
Well, and that's, we talked about earlier on the long interception. That's, again, fourth down awareness. Normally you would fall on top of the ball, but if you have in your brain that it is fourth down, you can't do that. You scoop it up and lunge forward, and there it is. It's good situational management there by Brady Haas, the quarterback.
Mohawks continuing the drive.
Handoff to Ology.
Wow, buddy.
And Ology is into the end zone. Touchdown, Mohawks.
Yep. This is where they start putting the pedal to the metal. And this is where they keep going. Easy peasy right there, Joel.
Kind of where you look at the scoreboard and you look at your road runner, you go neep, neep, and then psh, off you go.
I didn't quite make that sound effect, but I did whistle. I did whistle.
I miss those old cartoons. Those were good stuff.
Are they on Saturday morning anymore?
I have no idea. Probably on some channel somewhere. This goalpost is not flat, by the way. Not in any way, shape, or form. No carpenter would approve of this goalpost. Kick is up. And it is through the 80-degree post.
Hey, it's a kicker's dream.
They've been talking about getting field turf here to replace the grass. Field turf is fine, but level your goalpost first, and then you can start building the rest in from there, right? All right, 20-0 Madison Mohawks. We'll take it to commercial break from Brandenburg Field.
Performance Toyota Superstore invites you to save. Money, that is. Overstocked pre-owned vehicles have forced us to wholesale direct to you. Our loss is your gain. Everything is on sale. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs. Every deal will be made. Keep your stimulus check and just show up and drive. If you want it, we've got it. Every style, every color, every model. It's used cars for everyone. Only at your Performance Toyota Superstore. Go to performancetoyotastore.com.
Back here at Brandenburg Field, the Madison Mohawks early in the second quarter have a 20-0 lead on the Finneytown Wildcats as they're starting to really put the neck to the throat of the visiting Finneytown. Ball is placed on the tee by Zach Potter, the kicker, who's going to be looking to kick it deep. End over end kick to Carlos Cox. And Cox is met in the open field.
Yes, sir.
Brilliant tackle by Alex Rumping.
Yeah, I told him before kickoff we were going to call Alex Rumping's name on the defensive end, and yeah, it's special teams' defense right there.
8:45 left to go in the second quarter. The Taft Senators have opened up a 54-12 lead over Meadowdale.
In the second quarter?
In the second quarter, yes,
Wow.
right around the same game time as our clock right here. 54 to 12, exactly. Now, Dayton Meadowdale is always the lack of, the ability. Flag is thrown here on this pass that was complete to Adam Dace. We'll see what this is. This
I'm wondering if
flag was thrown from the
I'm thinking
sideline.
an illegal shift there,
I'm thinking
Joel.
that's probably going to be the case. Yep, looks like that motion was given toward the white hat there in the center. We'll see how this goes, but yeah, Dayton Meadowdale is definitely one of the weaker teams in the public schools. And Taft, you see all of these other Cincinnati public schools and Dayton public schools that aren't as good in those inner-city metro leagues. Taft is always the one that is tougher than the others, it seems, and they seem to be that way again tonight.
Yeah, I think Ross had Meadowdale scheduled on their schedule. Was it last year, maybe, or 2 years
last
ago?
year,
I don't know
2
if you
years ago.
recall that. And Ross took care of him. I forget what the score was, but it was similar to the score that
It was bad, huh? Another score also from Division 5's bracket, and that is the Madeira Mustangs right now are leading the Bethel Bees 21-13. Also Division 5. Pull up the bracket
There it
right now
is.
so you can see Taft Meadowdale is the 9-24 game there. The winner of that game will take on Enon Greenon. One of the great rhyming schemes of high school football. And then, of course, the Madeira Bethel game is the 12-21 game. Winner of that game gets the CHCA Eagles next Saturday night. All right, so got that squared away. It is still first down. Down does not count. Fitch. Incomplete.
just pursuit from the line to get in there, batted the ball down.
Not a lot there to work with there for Finch.
No can do.
Drew Finch is he struggled today. He's been under constant duress by the Madison defensive line.
Yeah. Madison's doing a really good job of kind of eliminating just about any phase of the offense for Finneytown.
All right, so second down and 15 now for the Wildcats. Finch hands the ball off. That's William Martin.
Yeah, it looked like a kind of an end-around counter type of play there.
Martin tackled at the end of that play, it looks like, by number 13, Chase Patrick of the Mohawks.
What do you call it, a misdirection?
Yeah, almost like a jet sweep type of thing. So it's going to be a third down and 7 for Finneytown. As they all huddle up there.
I don't know when's the cue for you to kind of go for it at this point if you're losing 20-0 in the second quarter with 9 minutes left.
I don't know that it really is going to end up mattering. Here's the slant.
Yeah.
Complete.
That's a great play.
Jaden Bahanan.
You know, and one thing that we are up here in the booth, we do hear Finneytown's offensive coordinators up here, and they were saying throw it. It's been open. It's been open.
Yeah.
He was trying to hit that play when it was batted down. That was the exact same play, Joel.
Okay. They definitely need to be ready to run some of that and get the ball down the field against Madison. Chunks where you can. Shotgun snap. Hand off to Cox.
No go.
Met from behind.
Nothing there, Joel. So
Gavin Turner with the tackle. Second down and 14, and Finch has gone down again.
yeah, he's getting roughed up. But he got to back up.
He did. Just took a little bit of a breather, that's all.
Want to give a shout-out to my buddy Mike Weiler over at Finneytown. I know Mike for quite some time. He's an assistant coach to Gerald Warmack. It was nice to see him on the sidelines today prior to this contest starting.
Flag on the play. Finch throws it. It's going to be incomplete. And it's going to be an illegal shift.
I wish we could go to the replay on that. But the technological advances that we've made have not gone that far yet.
Not quite. Finneytown's coaching staff next to us basically said, ask him what he sees. Ask him what he's calling.
Right.
Because I'm not seeing it. So I don't know what that is, but
right.
they're certainly a little curious about it. All right, third down and about 14 coming up for Finneytown.
Got the bells a ringing here on third down and long.
Finch rolling out, hits Cox. Not going to have enough room. Won't be enough for a first down. Does get out of bounds.
No, Madison had that play kind of sniffed out just because of the mere fact that they were like, if you want to have that 5-yard dump pass, go ahead. That's fine with us.
Scoreboard update also in Division 5 playoffs, reaching 20. The Golden Eagles of London Madison Plains have just scored and got the two-point conversion to take a 14-13 lead over the East Clinton Astros.
East Clinton Astros, Joel.
That's right.
You know every single mascot in the state of Ohio. You probably know every single mascot in the Indiana and Kentucky neighboring areas.
No.
The Lawrenceburg
Tigers.
Yes, I do know that.
There's a punt. Punt by Arnez Heron.
My brother Joey, who was
bounds.
also our color commentator, he moved over to Lawrenceburg. So
Joey moved over to Indiana?
He is over in that area.
I did not know this. He's a Hoosier.
Yeah, he drives by the Lawrenceburg Stadium. He says it looks like
it's cool.
Tennessee Volunteer-looking stadium.
It's pretty cool.
Rocks around the outside.
Yep.
Yeah, he says it's pretty neat.
It's right there alongside US 50, I believe it is.
You're right. Yeah.
Right off of I-275, the one Indiana exit
that you can
actually get off of on 275.
And Joey, he does tell me, he's like, man, Lawrenceburg football is big time.
It is big time. They're Division IV equivalent traditionally by the OHSAA, which gives 5 Harbin points for every win that they get if you were to beat them.
Got it.
Handoff up the middle. Gibson
gets himself 9, Joel, rather easily.
This is just like clockwork here, Chris.
Yeah, it is.
Pretty easy work. Second down and 1 for the Mohawks, who are really not having much trouble at all.
Yeah, and you look at the reporter's dream of covering a contest is, if this game gets into running clock, then that means you're going to head on home early.
It does. You got a hot date or something?
I do not.
You don't. Better call Amanda and
Actually,
say,
you know what? I'm going to say I do. Because if she's listening or watching or whatnot, I'm in deep, you know what.
Hand off to Ology up the middle, and Ology's going to easily get the first down and then some, all the way across to the 34-yard line.
Can't stress it enough, Joy. I'm like a broken record here. Madison's offense is clicking, and Finneytown's got to clinch up in terms of making sure they're going to close some holes there.
Amanda Vogt, if you're listening right now,
She's not.
go ahead and send Chris
She's
or
not.
text Chris where you want him to pick up your
She's
supper
not.
tonight on your way
She's
home.
not.
He'll be out early, right?
She's definitely not watching.
Haas going to look to throw. And this is not going to go quite as well as the previous couple pass attempts intended for Jesse Allman. Harmlessly out of bounds, double coverage there. Not a lot to work with.
You know, I'll say I like the play. You know, it's
Something different.
first and 10. See if we can kind of catch them off guard. You know, it's been run play, run play, run play. Why not sneak in a pass play? I like the call, Joel. I like
Yeah,
it.
it's worth a shot. It's worth a shot. It wasn't there,
No.
but it's definitely worth a shot. Try to do something different and see if it works. Talking about margin of error earlier. I mean, even if that ball does get intercepted, Madison
harm,
has
no
a
foul.
much better margin of error than Finneytown does in this game. They just simply back them up way deep in their own territory and play defense.
Well, free play for the Madison Mohawks. No,
Yeah,
they
the
called
whistle
it.
blows.
They called it. They're
The
not gonna-
fans are not going to like the late hit there, but really the
don't-
lateness was the whistle, not the hit.
Right, I don't think you can call that late.
It
hit.
was offsides. It was correctly called offsides. It was a little bit of a delay in the calling of it offsides. The whistle blows the play dead. The hit happens afterwards, and it just happens. 5-yard penalty. It's going to be 2nd and 5. That's real nice if you can throw an incomplete pass and still get 5 free yards off
There
of
it
it.
is.
So we're down below 6 minutes left to go in the second quarter of play. This game is not moving as quickly as last week's did against Monroe.
Boy, Joel, I mean, blink of an eye, we were at halftime.
Play action fake. Haas rolling left. He's looking end zone. He's got a man.
Wow.
And he's wide open in the end zone. A touchdown to Connor Maloney. Mama, there goes that man again.
There. They can't catch me. A lot of space open and just got back behind the defensive secondary. And, in fact, that was going to be all in Haas's hands. Like, that was all him. If Haas didn't get it to him, then shame on him, right?
Hang on a second. I see something on the field, and I think it looks yellow and not orange.
Oh, boy.
Dead ball. 2 flags on the play. A personal foul, Madison. A personal foul, Finneytown.
Touchdown, there it is.
Both of them were post-play fouls.
Yep.
So they offset, and the touchdown will stand.
Yep. Going back, that pass was all in. It was Haas or nothing. If Haas didn't get it to Maloney, then so Maloney's kind of the player of the day today, huh?
Maloney has been all over the
Yeah,
place.
yeah.
All over the place. Madeira scores again. They're up 28-13 over the Bethel Bees. Madison Plains scores again. They're up 20-13 now on East Clinton. Both of those games in this bracket. As Jared Curry goes ahead and lines up for the extra point, which
And he's
is
got it.
good. 5:40 remaining in the second quarter. The Madison Mohawks knocking on the doorstep of the running clock. It is 27-0 Madison.
Hey, this is Joey Vogt for The Report. One thing we strive to do here at The Report is recognize the local high school student athletes and their accomplishments to the best of our abilities, which is the reason why we partnered up with Performance Toyota and Rick's Tavern to crown a Performer of the Week. We choose a student athlete from each of our coverage area schools from any sports and let family, friends, and your school vote in the Report's Performer of the Week poll on our website. Tell us who you think should be in our Performer of the Week poll, and most importantly, enjoy the rest of the broadcast.
All right, we're back here from Brandenburg Field. Looks like Carlisle is leading Summit Country Day 22-7 right now. We'll be looking, I'm sure, at that bracket a little bit more as we get into halftime. Roger Bacon is certainly the favorite team, Chris, in this Region 20 bracket.
Corey Kiner.
Corey Kiner.
Corey, the man.
End over end kick. Picked up and returned by Carlos Cox. And Cox has some room, and he ran out of sideline space, and he had about 3 more feet of width to that field. He'd have been gone.
Well, you'd say he ran out of sideline space, and Madison saying, thank the Lord.
Uh-huh. We painted that sideline there for a reason.
Right.
Corey Kiner, special
is.
kid.
Are we going to LSU? No,
I believe he's going to LSU.
Yeah.
He, I got to see him last year when they played Baden. And it was the only game that Roger Bacon lost in the regular season last year. Corey Kiner is a St. Clement kid, which is right within walking distance of Roger Bacon High School. And after he started being really, really good, some of the GCL South schools tried to actually recruit him to leave Roger Bacon to go to St. X or Moeller. And he kept refusing them and said, no, I'm a Roger Bacon kid.
Yep.
I'm from St. Clement. This is my school. Handoff goes to William Martin, and he runs quickly out of room.
Yeah, and you know what, I think going back to that game, that Roger Bacon game, didn't he have like 200 yards against?
No, he was shut down that game, and that probably is the worst game he has had in the last 2 years, because normally he just completely blows up and goes off. I think Baden actually held him to like 34 yards rushing in that game, which was an astounding accomplishment for Nick Yorty and his defense.
Well, Nick did have Nick. I think last year's defense, I don't know, comparable to this defense as well.
Finneytown is going to go ahead and take their last time out here, so let's go ahead and look at this Division 5 Region 20 bracket. And you can see Roger Bacon is the #1 seed. They are the only undefeated team left as the tournament starts. Well, other than, I guess I should, well, no, Cincinnati Taft lost to Withrow last week. So, yes, Roger Bacon is the only undefeated team in this bracket. Summit Country Day, Carlisle. Carlisle, the 17 seed, is leading that game 22-7 over the Silver Knights of Summit Country Day. Taft and Meadowdale, that game, of course, is well out of control. Madeira and Bethel, I believe Madeira had the couple score lead in that game. Madison Plains with a 7-point lead over East Clinton, the Astros there in the 15-18 game. Winner of that game is going to get Blanchester. And that won't be a very even matchup at all. Blanchester will be a very heavy favorite in that game. All right, back live here. Our game, the winner is going to get Springfield Shawnee next week. Long throw from Fitch, and that's going to be pass interference.
Well, you know, Finneytown's been looking for something like that. You know, unfortunately for them at this point, they don't get the 40-yard pass play penalty.
No.
Like you would in pros.
Well, this is where it's so weird because there are sometimes the NFL rule is the better option, and there are sometimes the college rule is the better option.
Yeah.
This is a 15-yard penalty, and it'll be a first down. For the ones that are obvious pass interference, the NFL rule, the harsher rule, spot foul, probably is the better way to go. For the ones where it's just a little more questionable, maybe the 15-yarder is the nicer way to go there.
Right.
Alex Rumping and Braden Williams were both in coverage on that. I did not see which of the two of them interfered with the receiver. It is first down and 10 for the Finneytown Wildcats at the 41-yard line. Fitch overthrows this man.
Is that Maloney?
Intercepted. It is not Maloney.
Oh.
It is not. It is Chase Patrick.
Chase Patrick, he gets up and says, here's your ball, Finneytown.
Get that weak stuff out of here.
You can have it back.
I didn't put COVID on it, I promise. Chase Patrick getting into the pick party here.
Yeah, it was.
And the Mohawks with the chance to go up by 30. The running clock rule does not apply until the second half of the game. But Madison is going to do everything they can to make it where they're coming right out of halftime with said rule in place.
At the Edgewood contest, there's quite a few folks in the press box saying, can I start it now? Can I start it now? I said, no, you cannot.
Nope. Of course, I'm not typically a big fan of the running clock rule anyway, but we're trying to avoid injuries.
You had a situation where you thought it was warranted.
New Miami with Division 7. Gibson on the toss sweep, and half of Finneytown's defense was not even on the field yet or was hurriedly coming across the field as that ball was being snapped. Madison was lined up and ready to roll.
You know what's interesting is I don't know if the PA music maybe messed Finneytown up. It
Yeah, I don't
sounded
know.
like a timeout was going on.
There's a little bit of Led Zeppelin going on there.
There was some Led Zeppelin.
1st and 10 for the Madison Mohawks, as that play could have gone for a lot farther. Finneytown would have been even a hair slower getting onto the field there, coming out of the change of possession. 4:15 and counting left to go before halftime. Game already well in hand, as Ology takes it up the middle for about 4 yards.
I'd imagine you're not going to switch the playbook up much, Joel.
Why get too exotic?
Nope.
No need.
No.
Here's the other interesting thing, too, if you want to treat this as a scrimmage. If you want to work on your passing game, I might recommend getting up by 30, waiting until the second half, and then you can use your passing game as much as you want to because the clock continues to run on the incomplete passes.
Right.
Toss to Gibson, low and
turned
outside.
Yeah.
And he's going to get about a yard there. Gibson does a very nice job of handling that toss from Haas.
Yeah, Gibson got a little turned around there. I don't know if he got back to the line of scrimmage or not, but either way, at this point, I guess no harm, no foul if you're Madison.
That's right. Keep the clock
going.
moving and keep going. You're good. All right, 3rd down and 5 for the Mohawks, who are perfectly content to take as much time off the clock as they can in between plays here. And it's a double handoff up the inside, and bouncing it out is Connor Maloney.
Yeah, good little, I guess it was a misdirection, kind of almost like an end around type deal.
Well, yeah, the first handoff was to Logan Gibson. He was going right, and then he made a second handoff to Connor Maloney going left.
Inside reverse?
Yep. Inside reverse, little trap.
We always like trying to run those plays in Tecmo.
Oh,
and
yes.
And then if you're a defender, if you're playing Tecmo and you run reverse, it's going to either get, you're going to fumble or, your defense is going to sniff it out if you're playing as a human. If you're playing another human, those reverses won't work.
Ernest Biner.
Oh, yes. He was on the Redskins at that time.
There you go.
Not the Cleveland Browns.
Not the Cleveland Browns and not the Washington football team. They were the Redskins.
Yes, they were.
That's right. Incomplete pass on 1st down from Haas, intended for Gibson. So the clock will stop at 2:11 as Haas will wander over to Rocky Hubbard to get a play call.
Once again, thanking Madison Athletic Director Matt Morrison. The Madison Mohawk Athletic Boosters have been just a fantastic group of individuals to work with on the media standpoint.
And back-to-back nights at grass fields, Chris.
Yes, it is. Can't go wrong with that.
Can't go wrong with grass stadium. The pass was thrown from Haas to Ology.
Short of the first down, though, Joel.
He's tackled by Ryan Dace, as Finneytown's coaching staff would have loved to have had a hold call on that.
Because it was a hold.
It is a 3rd down coming up or a 4th?
I think we're looking at timeout.
We have a timeout. Looks like 3rd down on the sticks here. Timeout for Madison. We'll take a quick commercial and come right back here at Brandenburg Field with the Mohawks 27-0 over Finneytown.
Performance Toyota Superstore invites you to save. Money, that is. Overstocked pre-owned vehicles have forced us to wholesale direct to you. Our loss is your gain. Everything is on sale. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs. Every deal will be made. Keep your stimulus check and just show up and drive. If you want it, we've got it. Every style, every color, every model. It's used cars for everyone. Only at your Performance Toyota Superstore. Go to performancetoyotastore.com.
Never pay more when you shop Route 4. Performance Toyota.
Hey, this is Joey Vogt for The Report. One thing we strive to do here at The Report is recognize the local high school student athletes and their accomplishments to the best of our abilities, which is the reason why we partnered up with Performance Toyota and Rick's Tavern to crown a Performer of the Week. We choose a student athlete from each of our coverage area schools from any sports.
All right, we're back. Apologize to Performance Toyota for cutting that commercial a little short, but we got football to play.
They've had their fair share.
They've had plenty, that's right. Haas on the fake, looking longer. Almost got it down, but he dropped the ball at the end. Called out of bounds there. Evan Cox was the intended receiver there for Madison. I don't think he maintained control through the ground anyway.
He wouldn't have, but I will say this. Evan Cox looked like he was trying to legitimately make just a good football move catch with getting his toes down.
The footwork looked really good on that play.
Looked
It was
really
good toe tapping there along the side. I think he may have even gotten both feet in, but the bobbling of the ball with the hands is going to cost him. And it's going to be 4th down as Madison is going to be able to run whatever they want to really off of this. Wing T formation. Toss to Gibson. Easy first down. And most importantly for the Mohawks, out of bounds. And a flag being thrown by the back judge extracurricularly after the play. We'll see. It's going to be a personal foul on somebody. I saw a Mohawk go flying at the end of the play.
We'll see here.
Dead ball, personal foul on Finneytown. That sounds about right. And so into the red zone go the Mohawks via penalty.
I'm going to check and go to the red zone sponsor. Say the Madison.
Do we have a red zone sponsor?
Madison Mohawk Athletic Boosters tonight.
I'll tell you what, if you want a good red zone sponsor, I would think Red's Hamburgers would be a good red zone sponsor. What do you think?
Well, Red's Hamburgers has been
for the new Miami games.
The red zone sponsor for the new Miami Vikings.
That's right. I need to go up and get one of those Red's Hamburgers, but the problem is I'm going to the village to call a game, and they're always closed when the game's on.
Right. Everything shuts down when the Vikings play.
That's exactly right. Hand off to Ology up the middle. Ology bowls his way into the end zone. And it's a touchdown, Mohawks. Chris, he just kept going.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Demonology, he's got a lot of upper body strength. Like we were saying, he's a wrestler. So he's using some of that strength to get in the end zone. Carrying a couple of Finneytown Wildcats along the way with him.
The study of Devon. Devonology. That's right.
There it is. I like it. There it is, Joel. Oh,
now you get a fullback run to punch for 15 yards, break it out wide, and hit the pylon. Pylon's still laying down there, actually.
Oh, it's disrespect.
Oh, my gosh.
Come on, Devin. You got to go pick that
up. Get that after the extra point. You can show it, Chris.
You got to pick it up.
All right, here's the place kick attempt for Jared Corey.
And that's good.
And it's good.
We gotta make sure Devin.
Yeah, show us that pylon there.
He's got to go pick this up. That's
the ultimate sign of disrespect there.
Yeah,
when you
come on, Devin.
Hit the pylon in your touchdown run, and you just leave it laying there as if it doesn't have any friends. Is somebody recognizing it?
I think a Mohawk is. Oh,
a couple Mohawks are recognizing it. Who's going to get it? One's coming from each direction.
Dante Pendleton. A little celebration. Dante's got it. Attaboy,
there
Dante.
It is. Dante Pendleton put that pylon back up there.
You're the man. Fixing up his man, Devonology.
Showing a little respect over there for that pylon in the corner of the end zone. 34-0. It doesn't take much to distract us in a game like this, Chris.
Well, it's a fact.
That's it, man. That's it. All right. So we got 1:25 left to go in the second quarter. This is the game where you want to prepare a little extra filler compared to what you normally have.
Well, as long as more pylons are knocked down, then we got filler.
There'll be more filler there, right? That's right. All right, 1:25 left to go in the second quarter.
We had filler last week. We ended up talking to Shane Richardson.
There you go.
He hopped on for about 10 minutes. We talked Madison Mohawk basketball. He is the new head basketball coach for the boys program. He's looking to shake some things up, taking over for Jeff Smith, who a veteran is retired. And he said, I'm going to hand the reins over to somebody else. Jeff Smith with 30-plus years of basketball experience. So I'm going to give somebody else a shot.
Jaden Bohannon. This is a nice kickoff return. Very nice kickoff return. And Finneytown is going to start this possession. just shy of midfield. Wonderful field position for the Wildcats here.
Yeah,
they need a touchdown in order to keep the clock from being running at the start of the third quarter.
You know, I mean, well, the good thing for Madison is that they score. I mean, honestly, the bad thing is they've got to kick off, and they've been giving Finneytown really good field position after some of these kickoffs. So maybe the special teams kickoff coverage team. Yeah, we need to fix something there.
There you go. Well, Finneytown, their special teams. I mean, we were talking to Rocky Hubbard before the game, and he was saying that special teams would be probably Finneytown's greatest area of strength, looking at the film and watching what they can do. Fluttery pass. It hit Alex Rumping right between the 1 and the 6.
One of those things, he's hitting himself in the head with the football. But one of those things, like it was like almost saying, you need to catch me because there's nothing else in the way for you not to.
Oh, my goodness. That's one of those things.
It's almost like your eyes were way too big for your own good there to even make.
We're going to call Ryan Siakam the intended receiver on that play. But, again, that's only because the intended receiver by rule has to be on the same team as the quarterback. That was right in between the 1 and the 6 of Alex Rumping. And he's definitely not thrilled about himself for dropping a surefire pick. Pitch. This got a little bit of promise, but quickly snuffed out there. William Martin tackled by his own number, Devonology on defense, and it's going to set up a third down for the Finneytown Wildcats.
Joel, I like the way that play developed for Finneytown.
It had promise, didn't it?
Right, it did. So it's setting up a 3rd down and 7. We're looking no timeouts for Finneytown. So time is going to be clicking. I don't see them hurrying up. So maybe take this into the half. And
this is something. Maybe you throw a deep pass here. If you get it, the clock will pause for the first down of the chains to be moved. If you don't get it, you've taken a lot of the time off the clock, so Madison won't be able to do much with it. I think you almost need to take a shot deep here and just see what happens. This is Finch. Fumbles the ball.
He's down.
Falls on top of it. Rolled up on by Zach Potter. Clock is stopped. I don't know why the clock is stopped.
So we're going to roll into the second
half. And
we
are going to roll it at halftime. That sounds about right. All right. So at halftime from Brandenburg Field, the Madison Mohawks lead 34-0 on the Butler County High School Sports Report television network.
Hey, this is Joey Vogt for The Report. One thing we strive to do here at The Report is recognize the local high school student athletes and their accomplishments to the best of our abilities, which is the reason why we partnered up with Performance Toyota and Rick's Tavern to crown a Performer of the Week. We choose a student athlete from each of our coverage area schools from any sports and let family, friends, and your school vote in the Report's Performer of the Week poll on our website. Tell us who you think should be in our Performer of the Week poll, and most importantly, enjoy the rest of the broadcast.
Performance Toyota Superstore invites you to save. Money, that is. Overstocked pre-owned vehicles have forced us to wholesale direct to you. Our loss is your gain. Everything is on sale. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs. Every deal will be made. Keep your stimulus check and just show up and drive. If you want it, we've got it. Every style, every color, every model. It's used cars for everyone. Only at your Performance Toyota Superstore. Go to performancetoyotastore.com.
Never pay more when you shop Route 4. Performance Toyota.
We thank you for listening to a live broadcast on the Butler County High School Sports Report's YouTube channel. We encourage you to check out our website at www.bchssreport.com for all your local prep sports results, stories, and student-athlete features. Enjoy the rest of the game.
right, we are back here at Brandenburg Field. And Chris, Madison Mohawks, this is easy sledding.
Yeah, well, Madison, I think, not just on a different tone than what they were last week. I think it was a must-win for Madison if they wanted to kind of take any form of momentum into the playoffs. It's really nice that everybody gets in the playoffs at this point, but Madison was not a playoff team last week, and I'll be upfront and honest with you. They're a playoff team tonight.
Well, yeah, they're making all the plays they need to. The degree of difficulty has not been tremendous, though. I wouldn't think they've not had a lot of obstacles in their way. I wouldn't think.
Well, Madison's doing a fantastic job of making the correct holes. They're making the correct plays, and they're staying level-headed in terms of making the right calls on offense. Brady Haas has been doing a great job of regulating the offensive scheme for Madison. And even from those, slim 2 passes that he's made, he's got a touchdown pass, and he's also got a nice strike for a first down on, I think it was a third down. No, actually it was a first down play. And just completing plays the way they should be. And that was something like we continue to say they didn't do that last week against Monroe.
All right, so let's go ahead and start looking at some of these playoff brackets.
Yeah,
and we'll start anywhere you want to start.
Joel, let's go to number 7, Division 7.
Start at the bottom and work our way up.
We have not hit New Miami yet, brother.
All right, New Miami
didn't
Vikings.
play. Yeah, they didn't play.
They did not play. It's easy to not lose if you don't play.
That's a fact, and
That's
it's
right.
also easy for you to kind of prep too. You got an extra week of prep, but New Miami's had far more than enough prep.
They've had a
this
lot
season.
of bye weeks this year.
Yeah,
a record number of bye weeks.
They have.
And I'm sure that Andy Stuckert would prefer not to have it necessarily be that way. But they got Fayetteville Perry, the Rockets, next Friday night.
Yep.
New Miami did play Fayetteville Perry last year in a regular season contest in which the Vikings won 39-0.
Yep.
So they're probably not going to feel too bad about having to deal with the Rockets again this year. It's the next week's game, if they beat Fayetteville Perry, that would be the one they need to worry about. That's a long road trip up to Maria Stein, where they would potentially play Marion Local. I don't see Cedarville giving Marion Local any problems.
No, well, going back to what we were talking about with New Miami not having the option, the opportunity to play week by week, Andy Stucker was okay with that. He says his kids have been doing a fantastic job of staying, I guess at this point, throughout with what's been going on, level-headed and focused. And he said that when Miami Valley Christian Academy said, we can't play, and then New Miami's like, that's fine. They look to not find an adequate opponent just because he wanted to make sure that these kids were going to be in good health and good shape. They weren't going to move up a division or two to play somebody just to get somebody on the schedule.
And potentially get the injuries that might
Right.
go along with that.
Right.
That makes a lot of sense in
Right.
the world, especially at Division 7 level.
Right, so props to Andy Stuckert for making that decision. Him and Eric Hayes did make a collaborative decision on that. And next week, we'll be seeing him as a number 8 seed against Fayetteville Perry. Are you surprised with the number 8 seed or not? Was there enough footer for the coaches to go after in terms of placing New Miami higher?
I wrote an article for you, Chris, about 2-3 weeks ago before they cast the ballots, where I said I could see New Miami as high as 3rd and as low as 12th.
Right.
Because they had played so few games. There's not a huge sample size there with which to work. They keep winning games, so that's good. They're not playing games that are all that terribly close. That's good. St. Bernard Elmwood plays game a little bit of a scuffle.
Right.
But at the same time, you also know the track record of the last 2 years, losing to Fort Loramie and losing to New Bremen in the playoffs. They may be a level below those teams. It's kind of hard to get that out of your brain either.
Yeah, and
so it's hard to know exactly where to see them. Eighth could be good enough to me.
I think a lot of the coaches on this Division 7 region went that route, Joel, and I think it's feasible. I'm not going to condemn them for that. I think the 8th seed for New Miami is a really good seed for them. I think it's fair.
They're at home,
right?
They
They're
get a home
home,
game
right.
at Merrifield.
You're
That's
exactly
good.
right.
That's
You're
a good
exactly.
thing.
And at this point, I think New Miami, with the caliber of potential they have, they deserve a home game.
Yeah.
And they're at the seed to where that's the last spot they can actually have for a home game.
Unless they would have been at one of the even farther down seeds.
True, right.
Which would have involved a first-round home game this weekend instead.
Right.
Exactly. Fayetteville Perry gets a bye and doesn't get a home game. You know, that's A little harder is the 9 seed there.
Right.
Looking down the rest of this bracket, Tri-Village is a team to keep an eye on. They're the 4 seed. They are undefeated. They won last weekend against Fort Loramie. Hello.
Right.
That's a big upset, or at least I thought it was a big upset. That really puts the Patriots on the map as a 4th team potentially good enough to really lay claim on this region. Tri-Village will play CCPA, who won 48-0 over Twin Valley South this weekend. Riverside. Lockland beat Manchester 0-Corona. That's the coronavirus decal there by Manchester. That game got canceled, so Lockland advances in the bracket there. Troy Christian will get the wonderful task of going up to Loramie. Chris, you're liking the Corona?
Yeah, I didn't notice that. That's a good graphic there.
And the game of the night last night in Division 7 was Sidney Lehman Catholic's Cavaliers losing to Charleston Southeastern Local. So Southeastern Local, their prize is they will to take on the New Bremen Cardinals. We know a little bit about them too. New Bremen got the 3 seed, very respectful from the coaches poll.
Yeah, just watching them play last year, I think even New Miami was, like we were talking about, starstruck. Just to see a program like New Bremen, the number 8 seed.
Yeah.
The number 8 seed.
Well, the Harbins are always going to undervalue New Bremen as long as they're playing Coldwater and Marion Local every year, and Anna and Minster and all those guys. So that's the trick. Andy Stuckert actually told me after our New Miami, the most recent New Miami game that Dan Vogt and I called, he said that he explained to his players this coach's voting process. If it had been in place last year, you guys would not have been the number 1 seed.
Right.
But you also would not have played New Bremen in the first round.
Right.
So
take
that for whatever it's worth. Where are we going next, partner?
Let's take it on down the line here. Number 5.
All right,
we can
Division
go back
5
down.
is what we're doing right now. Halftime scores. Carlisle leads Summit Country Day 22-7. A winner of that game will play Roger Bacon. Taft was up 52-14 over Meadowdale really early in that game, early in the second quarter. The Senators are not going to have any problem marching on toward Enon Greenon. I've not seen a score from the Preble Shawnee Arrows and the Claremont Northeastern Rockets yet. Madeira at halftime is leading Bethel 42-13. Madison Plains was up 20-13 last we saw over the East Clinton Astros. Of course, Madison, as you see, is up 34-0. Running clock forthcoming in the second half against Finneytown. Purcell Marion up 18-8 right now over North College Hill. And the Marymount Warriors are leading the Reading Blue Devils in an all-Cincinnati Hills battle at the 11-22 game. Marymount leads that game 21-7 at the halftime. Chance to travel a long way to go and face the West Liberty Salem Tigers next week.
Out of all these programs here, Joel, I think we were talking about Brookville the most. Just because of the mere fact that I've watched them play. Brookville's a good, sound team, a good program, just for what they were able to do against Monroe. I mean, Monroe's coming on strong, too, at this point. But the Blue Devils, watch out for them.
It's going to be interesting because I look at this bracket at the teams that have the byes. I think Roger Bacon is the class of this bracket.
Oh, for sure.
I think anybody would say that's seen Corey Connor play. If you look at the other teams with the byes, almost every single one of them has a bit of pedigree to them. Whether it's Brookville, West Liberty, Salem, do not sleep on them. They are a tough football team out of the Columbus area. They're always mixing it up at the top of Division 5, Region 20. Blanchester's been down for a while, and they now have really caught fire. CHCA is always good, and Versailles plays in that same conference that New Bremen plays in as the 4 seed. So a lot of very strong teams that are fighting for that second-best spot right behind Roger Bacon, maybe as a co-favorite in that bracket.
Yep, you probably nailed it on the nose there, Joel.
Springfield Shawnee would not be a horrible matchup for Madison, though, all things considered. If you look at all those teams that have byes, that's not a bad one to have to play in the second game.
Right, and it's about an hour and 15-minute drive there probably for Madison. You know, maybe a little closer.
Springfield might be closer even.
Maybe a little closer.
You got to get up to the end of 675, and you're right
exactly
there.
Right. Yeah, so not too bad of a drive if you're playing in the next round of the Division 4 Region 12.
Division 5 Region 20 playoffs.
Five, yep.
Tournament. Skipping from 5 up to 3 because that's how we do math.
We have nobody in 4.
We have nobody in 4. We don't. Not in Butler County. We don't.
No
McNick is playing right now, but I don't know how they're doing. I've not seen the score. All right, Monroe Hornets. They shocked the Western Buckeye League world with their victory over Elida last night. Dan Vogt and I got to call that one, and I'll tell you what, I was so impressed with Monroe. They played the game the way that I play Madden. a bunch of fullback dives and hand-ups up the middle, and we're just going to trust that our defense is going to hold up. We're not going to do anything foolish that would put the ball into the other team's hands, and they would play very disciplined, for the most part, very penalty-free, and let Elida make all the mistakes.
Well, but just by talking to Bob Mullins, Bob kept telling me, he said, look out. We're getting to where we want to get to. It's taken us a little longer than what we wanted to. He said our record doesn't necessarily indicate exactly how we play. And I think you saw that last night. It's indicative of exactly what he said.
I think their offense has limitations in terms of, and I called this at the end of the game last night, as a trucker, it's almost like they have a governor on their engine at about 50 or 55 miles an hour. They're not going to go speeding down the highway.
Yep.
They're not going to be throwing the ball all over the field. There are certain things their offense just is not capable of doing. But what they did so well last night was just work around the things they weren't capable of doing and do the things they were capable of doing. And they're playing Ross next weekend. Ross is another team that has a governor on their engine. The governor might be at 60 or 65 rather than at 50 or 55, but they also have limitations to their offense and things they do really, really well and things that they don't want to do. If Monroe can get a 2-score lead in that game and force Ross to throw the football, all of a sudden it may be very different.
Well, and I tell you what, if you're going to talk about Ross, I think Ross was not wanting to play Monroe. I don't blame him. I think Ross wanted to play Elida.
I don't blame him
it's somebody
at all.
they don't know. I think you're looking at the connection with Ross head coaches and Monroe head coaches there.
Brian Butts, Dick Ballard. They run the same offense, essentially.
Yeah, so you're going to see a mirror.
Yeah.
It's going to be a mirrored game. I probably will be going to that one. Joel, you may be doing the new Miami contest. So
Ross is going to be favored in that game.
Oh, without a doubt. I'd say I'd favor Ross by 10.
But don't count Monroe out if they can get a lead early.
Right.
That's the whole key, is who scores first and can get maybe a 2-score lead. If anybody can do that, it puts so much pressure on the other team to have to do what they don't do well.
Right. Now, we've had a lot of talk prior to the coaches' vote. Bellbrook and Baden were the ones that we were talking about the most.
We were. They were, yes. Bellbrook is the 1 seed, Baden is the 2 seed, and that's perfectly reasonable. I have no issue with that at all. Baden is going to take on the Wapakoneta Redskins, who got revenge on Lima Shawnee last night. That's an all-Western Buckeye League game. Wapak had lost to Lima Shawnee 9-7 earlier this year. Wapak is always up for the conference championship in the Western Buckeye League. They started 0-4 this year. They lost a slew of seniors to graduation and then had 6 of their 22 younger starters test positive for COVID right before the first game of the season.
Wow.
So they started off 0-4, and they're just now starting to get themselves together. Baden will be a heavy favorite in that game, but Wapak at least knows how to do it, even if they're very young and inexperienced. Keep an eye on Mount Healthy, R.V. Crouch's team, with a 40-7 drubbing over Fenwick. They're going to play Tippecanoe, and I'm going to call that as possibly an upset on the road next weekend, the 10 over the 7 seed. And also keep an eye on the 6-11 game down there. Alter is the 6th seed, thanks to Dunbar voting them last.
Wow.
Alter would have been the 4th seed had Dunbar voted them anywhere in the top 8.
Wow.
But since Dunbar specifically voted Alter as the worst team in the bracket, Alter slips all the way down to the 6th seed. The Dunbar Wolverines beat Aiken last night, and their prize, they get to go to Alter, and I want to see if Alter can break 80 points in that game.
You know, what's funny is that little mixture of results there from the coaches' votes wasn't the only result of that happening in just this division.
Well, speaking of which, take a look at what Moeller did to Hamilton last night.
Well, yeah.
The only upset in Division 1, Region 4, was Moeller knocking off Hamilton. We talked about most of the top half of this bracket earlier in the broadcast, and what Dan Vogt and I were asking last night is we happened to notice in Hamilton's ballot that they had ranked Moeller below Oak Hills. Now, I know Coach Mahan wanted to protect some of the GMC schools, but I'm going to guess that Moeller actually isn't worse than Oak Hills. I'm going to guess that Moeller probably is quite a bit better than Oak Hills, and that if some of these GMC schools would have voted Moeller as better than Oak Hills, then maybe Hamilton wouldn't have had to play Moeller this weekend. So you think you're being cute, you think you're being, showing loyalty to your own conference, and what you're actually doing is you're planting GCL South landmines in your path where they shouldn't be. And the next GCL South landmine that probably is a little bit too early is the 2nd seed Princeton having to play Elder next weekend. Elder probably is a little better than a 7 seed, but Princeton, hey, if you're gonna vote all these GMC schools a little higher than some of them should be, and the GCL South schools a little lower than they should be, then this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, the top part of the bracket, a lot of familiarity there in terms of the GMC, which is honestly only GMC almost, with the Division I Region 4. But that Lakota West Lakota East game, boy, oh boy, is that going to be
Rick Haynes is going to have the opportunity to pull a very large upset, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely. I think Rick Haynes, it's 6 weeks regular season. Those boys are playing well at this point.
All right. The boys are back out into the field. Halftime wasn't quite long enough for us, Chris. How about that?
That's okay. I'm sure we got we're
going to have some filler time to talk a little more postseason during the second half here.
I'd imagine we're not going to hit a commercial break, Joel. After
all right.
this one.
Works for me.
We'll continue to chat high school playoffs.
Take it all the way through. We may have had a commercial between the 3rd and 4th quarter, and that might be about it.
No, the shucky part about this second half is that Finneytown's got to kick off to Madison.
Finneytown's got to kick off to Madison, yep. And the clock has already began to run because that's the way this works in high school football. So there goes the kick. And it is fielded on a line drive by Logan Gibson. Gibson's going to take it out across the 35-yard line, and that is where Madison will begin this next drive.
I was kind of contemplating last night, when do you take out some of your players and at what time and what score and what you protect your dogs, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And it's more important in Division 5 or Division 7 at this level than it is in 1 and 2.
With your both way players.
Because you got so many guys that are playing both ways at this level. Dan had never been to see Division 7 football before you had him call a couple new Miami games with me this year, and he had a whole new respect for what Division 7 football looks like. There's a little swing pass to Jesse Allman, and Allman's going to go ahead and pick up about 6 or 7 yards on that play.
Well, harmless play call by Madison. You're not looking to do anything downfield in terms of that pass, so Haas saw it, made the play.
And the thing I like also, if you want to use this time as scrimmage time, if you want to work on your passing game, if that's been a weakness of your team, you can throw it and throw it and throw it, knowing that any incomplete pass is not going to stop the clock in this scenario. It's a nice little advantage for the Mohawks. Same play. Allman. First down. The clock continues to run even as they move the chains. That's the way the running clock works. The only thing the clock really will stop for is a change of possession, Chris.
Does Haas have an incomplete pass today? I think he's maybe got a couple.
He's had a couple. He's had a couple. The one that they threw into the end zone that was broken up.
Yes, you're right.
That would have been a touchdown. The other one was thrown into double coverage toward the same end zone that probably was better off not being thrown. That was really the only bad throw of the game.
Here's Gibson.
Yep. He's going to run it for about 6 yards, and it's going to be a 2nd down and 4 for the Mohawks.
Gibson's done a fantastic job of sort of picking up what, mainly what Dante Pendleton would have been able to provide tonight. Logan Gibson's a fantastic runner too. He sees a lot of the field, does a fantastic job.
I'm enjoying this music here from the press box. This is the Doors. Break on through to the other side.
In between play music on the PA, I love it.
How about it? And good stuff too. Handoff to Ology. And Devin Ology studies himself forward for a first down. It's got to be a trivia category.
It's got to have something to do with wrestling.
Wrestling, Devin Ology.
He's just as a good of a wrestler than he is a football player too.
Need to invite Mike Canese to a trivia night and have Devinology be a category. Canese would be like, what?
No, I wouldn't.
What?
Well, we could help out.
There you go. End of the 3rd quarter. Summit Country Day still trailing Carlisle Indians up 22-14 over the Silver Knights in the 16-17 game in this region. Winner gets Roger Bacon next week. There's going to be a flag as Gibson runs and is taken out of bounds. Very nice tackle and great sportsmanship by Michael Godby. Godby drove him out of bounds and kind of picked him up. Clock stops on a penalty. All right, let's see what we got here. We have a holding on Madison. And it's still first down. All right, so we're going to watch the referee to see what we got here as far as the clock goes. Yep. And it's funny. The referee tells him to keep the clock running during the penalty.
All righty then.
All right. So here we go. Ball at the 45-yard line. Poor clock keeper. He's got a referee telling him one thing and a coaching staff telling him another. Handoff, double handoff up the middle, and that is to Connor Maloney. Maloney's had a very nice first half, and he's going to get it back to the original line of scrimmage here.
Yeah, Maloney does. He couple picks, maybe a touchdown pass reception. Had it all.
All right, so it's going to be second down and about 11. Looks like in college football right now, Notre Dame is just taking a 7-3 lead over Florida State.
Wow.
There you go.
I actually forgot that college football was even starting back up,
There
Joel.
it is. There it is. Notre Dame's a Catholic school. I guess they don't have a community, right, Chris? Handoff goes to Gibson. Run up the middle. And he's going to get about 5 or 6 yards. And it's going to be a third down and 5. I think I struck you speechless, Chris Vogt.
He did.
All right, 3rd and 5 for the Madison Mohawks.
They're just turning it up. First drive of the second half, it's gone as scripted.
All right. Haas looking to throw, being wrapped up by the punter.
And he throws it away.
Arnez Heron blew up that play. Wonderful play there for Arnez, and that's going to snuff out that drive. We'll see if Madison decides to go for this on 4th down and 5, or if they'll decide to punt it at the 34-yard line.
Great pressure there from Finneytown, but Haas was able to get away and prevent a loss of 10.
All right. So we'll see. I mean, there's really no wrong choice to make here. Clock continues to run. We're below 6.5. And we'll see what the Mohawks opt to do. Haas is back there on the field now. I can't imagine you would punt it here and get a touchback and only get 13 yards of field position.
True.
They are going to go for it.
Haas being the
Trying
general.
to get organized.
He's being the general right now.
And they do snap it.
Uh-oh.
And it's a rollout. He's got a man wide open. Can he hit him? Rainbow ball does come down. Evan Cox had to wait forever for that ball to be caught.
Did he catch that, Joel?
I think absolutely with that question, I believe he caught it.
Okay.
I believe he caught that thing.
All right.
But I'm a neutral observer. First down inside the red zone for the Mohawks.
Well, Foo Fighters, Joel.
How about that?
Well, Foo Fighters
All
action.
right. A little diversity in musical selections here. As the Mohawks are trying to move the ball down the field, they are inside the red zone, first down and 10, just inside the 20-yard line. 2 receivers way out on the outside. Handoff goes to Ology up the middle, and Ology's got plenty of room. Finally drugged down by Travis Edwards, but it took Travis Edwards for quite a ride there. It's going to be very close to the first down marker.
Under 5 to play here in the third quarter. Time's a ticking. Madison doing a good job of managing this drive.
2nd and 1 coming up for the Mohawks. Guessing all of the other scores are probably gone about halftime right now in the Division 5 Region 20 playoffs. I've not seen any updates recently, and I'm sure our game will be one of the first ones to finish. Taft and Meadowdale will probably be the other one. Gibson stretches for the pylon. Did he get it? He did. Touchdown, Mohawks.
There's Gibson. Oh, there we go. Little lifty from one of his linemen. The lineman wants to get into the mix.
That was a wonderful stretch. He dove from about 4 yards out there.
Super Logan.
A lot of hang time there on that dive, stretching out full extension for that pylon.
Super Gibson.
Jared Curry. All right, and the referee finally signals to stop the clock there after the touchdown.
Your traditional kicker number, 51.
And the kick is no good. So 40-0 is the score. Let's look at Division II, shall we? All right, Edgewood has got Troy. That will be a really good game, in my opinion. And both teams played nothing schools from Columbus. Columbus West and Franklin Heights, both of them were making, I believe, their playoff debuts. Both two schools that would have never made the playoffs in most seasons, you know, with a list of who could be there. Edgewood and Troy both have a little bit of a pedigree, both have a little bit of history. They're the 8, they're the 9, and it's going to be the gloves being off at Kumler Field.
Yeah, I just by watching Edgewood last night, yeah, unfortunately they were going up against a Columbus West program that didn't really give any resistance.
Yep.
So Edgewood, I don't know how you take that win. I know Coach Clemens talking to him after the game, he said, well, we just want to make sure we're playing the game the right way.
That's right.
You know.
Work on your fundamentals. Winton Woods will play the winner of Edgewood and Troy, and that's the game that will most likely end either one of their seasons.
Oh, yeah.
Winton Woods is really, really good. Yep. Talawanda, as you see in the bracket there, as the Finneytown guys take the field. Talawanda will play Kings on the road. It's not that long of a road trip, but Kings is good. Kings is very good. Dan and I got to see them play Middletown this year. They got a running back named Ty Stilsky, who was just a wonderful, wonderful player.
Well, I know that Talawanda has a hard time on the defensive end at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So, Stilsky.
All right, the clock is running. The return man is Bohannon. Bohannon, this has been the most successful play for Finneytown all game long. It's been the kickoff return. And a flag is going to end that kickoff return. Bohannon continues to run. He gets it all the way across midfield, but the flag is back at the 30-yard line. And that is where they'll be marking off the penalty on this play.
Oh, boy.
And it is a block in the back called by the officiating crew.
Doggone, I mean, you're one of those things where Finneytown just trying to make something happen.
All right. So the Wildcats have a running clock here. They're down by 40 points. And they're going to be marking them back. Was there a second flag, maybe a personal foul or something on that as well, Chris?
Joel, I couldn't tell you.
Because they're marking this way back. Unless the flag was thrown to the 30 and should have been much farther back than that. Okay, no, the flag was at the 30. It's just that they went back for their huddle way deep.
Got it.
That makes sense. Falls at the 20-yard line. That's what I thought it would be.
4 wide receiver set, Joel.
Yes, sir. And man in motion. And they're looking for the man in motion. And they got him. Ryan Dace makes the catch and has nowhere to go as Alex Rumping also saw the man in motion. And Rumping snuffs that one out in the backfield.
Yeah, Rumpkin does it. He does a great job on the defensive end just to make sure he's fundamentally playing the game the right way. And that's just the epitome of what he does right there.
Saw it, read it all the way, got in there, didn't get there in time to intercept the ball or break up the pass, but immediately made the tackle.
He wasn't playing pursuit there. He just was manning his ground.
Keeping himself between his man and the other team's end zone, right?
Yep.
Looks like Carlisle is up 28-21 over Summit Country Day now. Winner of that game gets the Roger Bacon Spartans next weekend. Who wants them? Slant pattern picked off. Intercepted. And that's Braden Williams. Braden Williams was right in between two Finneytown wide receivers. And that ball landed right in between two Finneytown wide receivers.
Yep.
And a wonderful interception and return inside the 5-yard line. And the Mohawks are on the doorstep of scoring again.
Mohawks looking to just close it on out.
I think Finneytown's coaching staff is looking to close it on out. The two coaches that were right next door to us have already left and vacated the press box.
They said, let's head on over to the sidelines.
Sounds like Jimi Hendrix now they're playing.
Yeah, Jimi Hendrix, it is.
Looks like the Mohawks are going for 2. Oh, no, they're not going for 2. They haven't scored yet. That's what it was.
No, they haven't.
They need to score first. I was going to say the ball's at the 3-yard line. It's looking like a conversion, but they did not actually score on the interception return. They score on
Logan
this.
Gibson and another lift from one of his linemen. You always got to get some love from your linemen, man. They're the reasons why you actually score most of the time. Unless you're Barry Sanders, and then you just score on your own.
On your own, that's right. That's right. That's what Ty Stilsky of Kings kind of reminded Dan and me of, is he was making all those moves and running backwards to go forward, running the sideways to get open room. I mean, he torched the Middletown defense, the game that we saw Kings of Middletown play. Absolutely torched them.
I would imagine that Talawan is not excited to go up against that.
And the extra point is good. 47-0. Staying on that Division II playoff thing.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So Withrow was the other coronavirus victory last night, and they will play Turpin. They beat Fairborn, coronavirus to nothing.
Well, if you're Withrow, you're going to take what you can get.
That's it.
But you're going to have to end up playing somebody relatively decent after this, and it's going to be Turpin.
Turpin,
yep.
Exactly. Bottom half of the bracket, I don't see LaSalle having any problems with Little Miami. Sydney and Stebbins is interesting. Stebbins is the 7th seed. Stebbins is normally a basement dweller in this region.
Yep.
So I don't know how good Stebbins actually is. I don't know how well tested they've actually been, but they got a lot of respect from the coaches. They are 4-2. They've lost to Piqua and Troy. Neither one of those are shameful losses in any way, shape, or form.
Not at all.
They've won some very close games, though. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that 10-7 game will also be potentially an upset. I think Sydney is significantly better than Stebbins. Piqua's the 3 seed down there. I'm really interested to see what they do with Harrison. And, of course, Anderson and Taze Valley. Taze Valley beat Briggs 68-0 last night. And Anderson does not believe in playing defense. So, first one to 75 might win that game between Taze Valley and Anderson. High, sky-high kick, recoverable, very easily recoverable for Garrett Webb. That was uncontested, really. Nobody even really made a move for Finneytown to even try to cover that ball.
Yeah, and I actually, once that ball was getting recovered by Madison, I'm pretty sure that it was Alex Rumping. Yeah, Alex Rumping got blasted.
He did. He
got blasted.
Garrett Webb fell on top of that football. He could have stopped there, ate a sandwich, and then picked the ball up.
Right, he could have.
I mean, there was nobody around.
You're right.
It looked like a guy trying to steal second base without a throw and deciding not to slide. I mean, that was how open that was. That's definitely concerning if you're Finneytown's coaching staff. You don't want to quit playing. Wow. All right, 1st and 10 for Madison at the 32-yard line.
It's almost like, are you going to get it or am I going to get it? Nobody was going to actually get it.
All right, full house backfield. This will be the last play of the quarter, and it's Ology. That'll be the last play of the quarter unless Ology scores. He's going to try. To the 10-yard line he goes, and that's where he'll be snuffed out. The clock will not stop for the first down. And we're going to drain the time in the 3rd quarter. Chris is already going to start getting a step ahead already and get ready to put the 4th down here.
Yeah,
He's going to wait till it flips over. Isn't he?
I'm a big believer of not changing it until the actual,
you don't want to have anybody freeze frame this thing and see it's the 3rd, right? Exactly. So we head to the 4th quarter from Brandenburg Field. It's the Madison Mohawks 47, the Finneytown Wildcats nothing on the Butler County High School Sports Report Television Network.
Never pay more when you shop Route 4. Performance Toyota.
We thank you for listening to a live broadcast on the Butler County High School Sports Report's YouTube channel. We encourage you to check out our website at www.bchssreport.com for all your local prep sports results, stories, and student-athlete features. Enjoy the rest of the game.
And we're back here at Madison Township.
Brandenburg Field.
Brandenburg Field. My first trip here, Chris Vogt. I'm sure the Madison Mohawks
Been up
will be
here a couple times.
pleased to give me this as their indoctrination to their field, right? It's pretty good. Power T formation. Ball on the 10-yard line, 1st and goal for the Mohawks. Defensive tackle flinches a couple times. We got the handoff to Gibson. And Gibson is tackled very close. That was Connor Maloney, the quarterback on the play there.
Good sportsmanship. Number 58 from Finneytown picks up Gibson right by his. That was nice.
I think it might be 50.
Yeah,
It's,
50. Yeah.
Michael Godby. He's been doing that all night long, actually.
Yeah, it did. It looked like he picked him up and was going to body slam, but he picked him up.
He
just
picked him up and set him on his feet.
Yeah.
He's been doing that all night long. Give him credit for sportsmanship for Finneytown. Michael Godby has been great today. He probably has about 30 tackles as well. It's probably true. All right, 2nd and goal here as the Mohawks try to punch this in and put a 50-burger up on the scoreboard.
Oh,
and that's going to be a false start.
Wait.
Referee actually waited to call that. I guess that could have potentially, Clay Halsey could have potentially made that a shift if he just gone ahead and went out toward the side and reset.
You know what? I feel for Clay Halsey because back in the CYO days when we were playing in grade school, that was the one thing you did not want to do.
False start?
Is false start. You know the count. Stop it. Do not do that. And you kind of flinch and you just sit there.
Well, I think the reason for the delayed whistle, if it's an offensive lineman that flinches, you're stuck.
Yeah.
But if it's a running back that flinches,
you might be able to actually
you could
get into
pull it off as a motion,
right?
And the referee will let it go. And I think ref from the white hat there gave him the opportunity to figure that one out, and he never did.
He was stuck in his tracks.
He was. So once again, the quarterback Connor Maloney taking the snap under center, not Haas. Handoff to Gibson. Fumbles the football. It looks like Devonology was trying to fall on top of it. We got a flag behind the play back in the end zone. Who's going to come up with the football? Looks like Ology came up with the ball, and now we'll see.
The wrestling match won by Devonology.
We're going to have a flag here. I don't think a lot of people have noticed the flag in the back of the end zone. It was thrown by the back judge way back behind the play. You can see it there, Chris. Yeah.
Yep, it's right back there.
This is something that happened at the backside of the play, having nothing to do with the fumble. Referee's going to call a dead ball, personal foul on Madison, 15-yard penalty against the Mohawks.
Well, as a coaching staff for the team in red, it's like you got to watch that stuff. It's 47-0. Just play the game the way you want to play it. Personal fouls shouldn't be happening right now.
All right. So it's 2nd and goal from the 30, or 3rd and goal from the 30, I should say. It's the play counted. The ever-elusive 3rd and goal from the 30, Chris. You don't see that very often.
Nope.
They're going to go ahead and wait for the back judge to have his hand up in the air, and he just does there. 5 seconds left on the play clock. And
keeping it.
That's the quarterback. Maloney is going to keep it. Smart clock management on his part to wind every second he could off of that thing, and it's going to be 4th down and goal. I don't know what you call on 4th and goal from the 25 or 28-yard line, but we'll see what they do.
Let's kick it.
You got a field goal kicker
Let's
kicking
kick
that
it.
long? You want to punt it?
No, I think they're going to try it. No, they're not.
Let's see what we got. They're bringing Haas in. They're probably going to throw it.
Yeah, you're good. Oh, they're going to try and kick it. Here we go.
The kicking tee is on the field.
I love it. I love this
All right.
call, Joel.
This will be a 45-yard
Here we
attempt.
go. This is awesome.
Straight on kicker, number 62.
Oh, goodness.
Way high in the air.
He can return it if
That is actually it's going to be returned, yeah. That is Jaden Bohannon.
There's a couple players
returning it, and a flag.
There were some people hitting hard.
I talked to the officiating crew, Chris, specifically about this before the game
play.
started tonight.
Yeah.
A field goal that does not go out the back of the end zone works like a punt and is returnable.
So he fielded it, even if it did hit the ground.
Even if he can pick it up, he can run with it, he can fair catch it if he wanted to. And a missed field goal theoretically is taken wherever it comes to rest.
Right.
You know, that's where the other team gets the ball. There it actually came into play. So this missed field goal actually may end up working like a punt after this penalty if it's that the penalty is on the return. Personal foul, Finneytown. Now here's the question. Did it happen before or after the kick crossed the line of scrimmage? I'm going to guess that it happened after. I think they may have pointed the wrong way, or I may have gotten my directions mixed up. It looks like the flag is actually going to be on Madison for the personal foul.
Yep.
All right, so.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, yeah.
Red Hot Chili Peppers playing on the PA.
Oh, yeah. Danny, California?
Yeah, I think there was.
All right. So it's a first down and 10 for Finneytown, their own 44-yard line. Finch, incomplete pass, intended for Bohannon.
Is there more flaggies?
There's an extra whistle, that's for sure. You hope it doesn't get chippy. Roughing the passer
Oh, boy.
is the call. At this point in time, you don't want to get anybody hurt. You'd like to just get off the field. It's 47-0. You know the result of the game is in hand. There's no need for any of these personal foul penalties.
Right. I agree.
You have Eric Hickey here. No, Eric Hickey works for Kasana, right?
Yeah.
3 minutes ago, he had a tweet from the previous kickoff at Madison. Finneytown just chooses not to catch kickoff. Yeah. Finch. Pocket collapsing.
You really can't be more descriptive
That's
on
a good
that.
description, isn't
I
it?
mean, it really was. I mean, that's a good description. I liked your description better in terms of the not sliding into a second base if you're looking to steal and no throw. Yeah.
But if you want a very literal definition, Finneytown just chooses to not catch kickoff. That kind of works, yeah. Caden Roop, by the way, with the sack of Finch there for the Mohawks. Second down and 12 for Finneytown. Finch trying to get the play from the sideline as we're below 6 minutes, below 5.5 minutes now left to go in this running clock fourth quarter. There's the snap and the quick throw to Bohannon. Bohannon's actually had a decent game. That's a hard tackle around the face mask, and that's going to be called a face mask. Alex Rumping is going to be the guilty party there. He gets up, throws his hands up in the air like, I got him around the shoulder blade, not around the face mask, and I don't know how well zoomed in you were there. It was very close.
Well, I was there. It was almost like he was put in a position to kind of tackle him like that, and I don't think he meant to make it as rough as it looked.
Right.
That
It looked rougher than it was.
Right.
I don't know if it's specifically be for the face mask or if he was already out of bounds when he hit him and spun him around. A couple different things might be called here by the officiating crew. It's close. But I don't blame him for erring on the side of caution in a 47-0 game. It's been chippy. Personal foul, face mask is going to be the call. It's against Madison. And that's going to go half the distance to the goal.
Now, in that case, if it in fact was a face mask, that's the right call.
And a timeout for the Mohawks. This is probably to stop getting the personal fouls, right? Rocky Hubbard to kind of reset expectations a little bit and say, all right,
Come on,
guys,
let's go.
let's get through this. All right. So, Division III bracket we were looking at earlier. Talking about Baden and Wapakoneta. Baden will be favored, but it won't be easy as far as Wapak doesn't have a lot of experience, but they do have a lot of pedigree.
Yep.
They know how to make a deep playoff run. Trotwood Madison is the 3 seed. No one knows how good they are this year. They are the defending state champions. But
losing a lot of
they lost a lot of seniors.
A lot of players.
And Dayton Carroll is going to see them next week. Carroll beat the Salina Bulldogs on the road. Bad night for the Western Buckeye League.
Right.
Salina loses at home, as well as Elida losing at home. 42-39. That's the same score as the Fairfield Elder game also. Good for Carroll. Went 2.5 games without scoring a point. They put 42 up against the Bulldogs. They're going to play Trotwood Madison and give them a little test run. I think Trotwood Madison Alter might be a really good game in the next round beyond that. top half of the – where you want to go?
Well, I was going to say, Joel, going back to last year, and I think you might have been on the cruise ship last year.
Yes,
when
Baden played Trotwood, yes.
That might have been the most perfect game that Baden plays and loses still.
Yeah, it can happen.
You know what I mean? Like, they played the most ideal, perfect game to play at this point in the season, and you still end up losing to a team like Trotwood. I mean, legitimately perfect.
Yep. All right. Back here, we'll put the camera back on the action. 4:23 remaining here at Brandenburg Field. Clock begins to run. First and goal at the 9. Finneytown trying to get on the board. Ball tipped by Chase Patrick on defense there. I believe that was William Martin, the intended receiver there.
Number 13.
In the back corner of the end zone. And Patrick makes a very nice play to deflect that ball out of bounds.
Yeah, it's a fantastic textbook play by a cornerback, and Chase Patrick did it.
Found the ball at its highest point, Chris.
He did it the right way.
Clock continues to run. Below 4 minutes, second down and goal. This is Finneytown's opportunity to score. If they don't do it here, they're not going to do it.
Right.
It's just the way that it goes. So Drew Finch, the quarterback, he's had a rough night.
Yeah, a lot of pressure.
Constant pressure. Here's more. Boom. Gets hit. Overthrows Martin.
Well, Martin was there. He had a little separation.
Got a nice little love tap there from Tyler McCracken. That's why that ball had to be rushed in the throw just a little bit there. McCracken walloped him. Timeout. Looks like we'll see who takes it. Might be Finneytown. Yes, they are.
Yep.
They're going to go ahead and try to salvage some of this clock. That's the thing I don't love about the running clock is when teams have to actually take timeouts to salvage things that they otherwise should not have to. So Division III, Bellbrook is the 1 seed. I don't fancy them having any trouble with Chaminade Julienne. They just barely got by the Northwest Knights last night. St. Mary's Memorial, Wallops Greenville, they're going to play Franklin. St. Mary's Memorial is starting to come on strong. They might be the best Western Buckeye League team in this particular bracket. The best teams in the Western Buckeye this year are actually in Division 4 and 5. They're outside of this bracket. That's Ottawa Glandorf at 5-1 going to the playoffs, and also the Van Wert Cougars 5-1 going into the playoffs as well.
Yeah, I'm just entirely looking
Sorry, I'm just rattling this off, Chris.
Keep going, keep going. Entirely looking for that next contest, the Monroe Ross game.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah,
it's a real shame you can't have a full crowd. But if you could have a full crowd, Monroe wouldn't be in the playoffs right now. You know.
True. Good point.
So
Robinson Field would be rocking.
Would be electric. It'd still be fairly electric with all things considered, but it would be even more so if you could have a full capacity crowd. Clock runs. Finch wrapped up. Looks end zone. Overthrows his man, Ryan Dace, and it's going to be a 4th down and goal. Last roundup time for the Finneytown offense.
You know, Finch looks good in the pocket. It's just he hasn't really no time to do much of anything.
He needs time.
Right, he doesn't.
We must give him more time.
Yep. Timeout Finneytown again.
Yeah, that's right. Again, you hate having to use the timeout just because it's an incomplete pass or whatever. I would say this for Finch, to give you maybe a bit of a historical analogy here from a former history teacher. I would say that Finch is still waiting for General Reynolds to show up at Gettysburg. He's like Buford. He's like, can you hold, John? Can you hold? General Reynolds, I need reinforcements. I've got the ground. I've got the – just give me some time. We need more time. Can you hold, John? And General Reynolds has been nowhere to be seen tonight for Finneytown's offensive line.
I can second these timeouts for Coach Warmack and Finneytown just because – this may be one of the last games for these seniors.
I don't know if they're going to try to schedule anybody else.
Right. So, you know what? You want to go out.
They're going to try to kick a field goal.
You want to get that goose egg off the clock, and he's a good field goal kicker, too.
Allie Helms, the kicker.
She is.
Allie Helms. Going to boot it on a line drive, and it's going to be just short and out of the back of the end zone. And a flag.
Hold on. Might
Did
be another
they really
opportunity.
rough the female kicker? Please tell me they had a little more courtesy to a lady, right? Personal foul. Roughing the holder. All right, they didn't hit the girl, they hit the guy. Got it. All right. Can't rough a female kicker. That would be very ugly. All right, so
new set of downs.
new set of downs for Finneytown. They're going to go half the distance at the 5 now, as we're now down to 2 minutes left to go. Now, I definitely appreciate Coach Warmack trying to use the timeouts. I hate that he has to do them.
Right.
I've coached in a lot of basketball leagues that have done the stupid running clock thing, and I find myself taking timeouts every time a shooting foul is called in order to allow the free throw shooter to shoot with the clock stopped.
Joel, it's 9:05. We'd be here till 10
Hey.
if we didn't have running clock.
You got anywhere better to be?
Uh-oh,
I'm here with my cousin. I don't know about you.
All right, you're right, Joel. It's not making me feel bad, but it is 47-0.
All right. Handoff up the middle. And yes, I will say this, having called a couple new Miami games, the lower the division, the smaller the school, the more I'm okay with the running clock.
Right.
But you've got people, even at this level in Division 5, that would love to get more reps in. You can play your backups a little bit. But Finch going to not hand it off. He's going to try to run it up the middle. And he's swallowed up in the backfield. This is going to be the last timeout for Finneytown. 1:04 left to go. They've got 2 more shots at this. 1 more shot at the end zone, and then they may again bring Allie Helms out there to try to get some points on the board. You obviously would love to be able to avoid the shutout if you can. Our friend Eric Hickey, working with Rick Asano, actually says, I do compliment Madison music choice. All 80s, especially hair metal 80s. Awesome.
Oh, yeah, he's a big Def Leppard fan.
That's good stuff right there. Good stuff right there. Final score from Summit Country Day. The Carlisle Indians get their first playoff win since 2009. The 17-seed Carlisle wins 28-21 over the Silver Knights of Summit Country Day. And Carlisle will play the Roger Bacon Spartans next week. Congratulations for your first playoff win in 11 years. Now you get Corey Kiner.
Corey Kiner, the man, the myth. He's not the legend yet.
Golden Eagles, I'm guessing this is Madison Plains with a long touchdown drive. They're up 28-19 over the East Clinton Astros. And so here we go, 3rd and 1. Swallowed up again. And short of the goal line again. Ball's in the hand of Ology here. He wants to run the other direction, but he's not going to be able to. It's 4th down, and we'll see if they bring Allie Helms out. They're going to have time to run 1 more play here, even with the running clock.
Ology, he wrestled that ball away from him.
Oh, my gosh. Looks like Finneytown is going to keep their offense on the field and go for broke. Slant pattern, thrown behind, and that's going to be it. Clock will stop for the change of possession, and the shutout remains intact after defending 7 plays inside the 10-yard line for Madison's defense.
Yeah, impressive. You know, that's one of those things where if you're a Madison Mohawk at this point, you're playing until that final whistle.
Got to make them earn it, and they couldn't put it into the end zone the final time. And honestly, Madison earlier in that drive had several personal foul penalties that helped Finneytown get all the way down there in the first place. All right, we got time basically for 1 more kneel down, and that'll do it. They may not, actually, the clock will start now. They're not even going to need to kneel it. They will not even need to kneel the ball down if they don't want to. And so we all stand here watching the clock wind. Back judge is ready to call a delay of game, and there he is. Delay of game is called. And who says you can't end the game on a penalty?
Oh, there it is.
The Madison Mohawks with an impressive, resounding 47-0 victory over the Finneytown Wildcats.
Yeah, Joel, I'm going to go ahead and sum this up with you and then head on down to grab a player or two. But a game that Madison had to come out and kind of make a statement. I think this is a huge statement game for Madison just for the mere fact that they got pushed in a little bit by Monroe last week. And I keep stressing that because I watched it. You know, I saw it. And Madison needed a different approach tonight, and by far, Madison was able to get that.
Very important. The Madison Mohawks will now be playing the Springfield Shawnee Braves next weekend. And that'll be on the road up in Springfield. Springfield Shawnee has a record of 3-2. Their 2 losses are nothing to be ashamed of. A blowout loss at the hands of the London Red Raiders, who are 5-1, and a 38-31 loss at home to Jonathan Alder, who is 6-0. Plain City Jonathan Alder is a very good team in Division III Region 11 out of the Western Columbus area. Those are the only 2 losses that Springfield Shawnee has had all year long. They did have an overtime win over Bell Fountain earlier, and they did beat Tecumseh by a pretty comfortable margin, as well as a win over Urbana, who is 0-6, and they're not all that good. The Hilltoppers are. But
well, if you're going to go up against a program like Shawnee, Springfield Shawnee, you're going to have to clean up a couple things. So you play a little bit cleaner ball, and I think Madison will be okay.
I think that is a matchup. If you look at all the potential matchups of all the first-round bye teams, and there are 8 of them in this bracket, I think Springfield, Shawnee, and Greenon, well, this won't be surprising to the 7, the 8 seeds. I think those are the 2 you would love to be able to face. So I would think that Madison against Springfield Shawnee and Taft against Greenon would be the 2 most likely upsets coming out of that second round. Big gap between the first 6 teams and 7 and below in this region.
Well, Joel, I'm going to head on down there and grab a player interview. I don't know if I'll be back up and you might be off the air, but it was enjoyable calling the game, man.
Very much so.
Always a pleasure doing it with you, man.
Very much so. We'll go ahead and just wrap it up right here.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. That way they don't just have to hear me talk to myself.
You're very knowledgeable, though, for those itching for some playoff knowledge.
Any playoff knowledge you want to, go to ButlerCountyHighSchoolSportsReport.com, and you can see Chris Vote's write-ups on every team in Butler County.
Yeah, I mean, we try.
All the news that there is to know, and whatever we don't know, we make up. 47-0 the final here at Brandenburg Field. The Madison Mohawks improved to 4-3 and get ready to take on the Springfield Shawnee Braves next week. For Chris Vote, this is Joel Sackenheim for the Butler County High School Sports Report Television Network.